Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever New Line Championship boxing interview with the one and only three-title belt holder, Densel Chapman. What's going on, brother?
Chilling.
Thought we were doing a podcast.
What are we doing here?
I don't know what we're doing.
What are you
We
doing?
messed it up.
Get with the program. All right, let's restart this thing.
Oh, we're going.
The second episode
We're going. Yeah, episode 2.
of the New Line Championship Boxing podcast.
Or is it the NLC podcast? What is this?
I don't know what we're calling it. I don't even know what we're calling it.
Yeah, this is just the podcast. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Before we hit episode 30, we're gonna name it. We're gonna come up with a name.
Oh,
Until-
we're here with Densel Chapman, the champ himself.
Now, Denzel, you've ran through like every opponent that you've came across. So what's different this fight compared to your other fights? Or is it same news, different day?
I mean, with the guys I train with at Ground Zero, I feel like I'm ready for anybody. I'm training with Eli, Colin Caprini, Josh Fowler, Travis Cowles. Travis is just a giant black belt. And when he gets a hold of you, you're game over. So if I can deal with him, I can deal with people that are 155 pounds, and I don't deal well with Travis actually, but whatever. No, when I train with those guys, I get in my opinion, the best in the state training with me day in and day out. So, any of these other guys coming in, I'm going to train with them I'm going to train for them, like they're killers, but I'm very confident in our game plan and our training. So, same song, just different tempo.
I know this has been like a little bit of a weird time for you and this is going to be a weird fight for you, I'm sure. But, and you've been sick too. You've had COVID. So what's that been like?
Oh, dude, COVID sucked. Fuck COVID. Sorry for the profanity. But
Yeah, man.
You're fine.
Dude, like, COVID was awful. The first 2 days, I felt like I was dying. Thankfully, I had Heidi to take care of me. Then she ended up getting it too. So, she's a much better caretaker than I am. But, I did my best by her. I got her popsicles. Always popsicles, dude. If you get COVID, get popsicles. I swear.
Yeah, you were telling me that. And then, I've been sick too. You told me Epsom salt baths helped you a lot and Vicks Vapor Rub. I've been bathing in stuff.
Dude, yeah.
I've got addicted. I've got a problem now.
Listen, you're only supposed to bath in the bath salts. Don't do what other people in Southern West Virginia and Eastern Kentucky
Oh, I've
do.
been smoking them this whole time. As soon as you told me that, I've been smoking them.
It's a heck of a drug, man. Mm-hmm.
That's what got him better.
Yep.
I've been feeling great. Like so much energy.
He's
I
gonna,
kind of want to eat someone's face, but I've been trying to just curb that,
gonna ride the bath salts to victory.
CJ's gonna see this. Like, I want him tested.
Oh man,
Baptism.
they're gonna test me for cheeseburgers.
So you mentioned some of the guys you trained with earlier. Fight before, he's had some great fights at New Line, and Colin. You were telling, I love Colin's nickname. You were telling me a little bit about the backstory behind it. So they call Colin the outside dog. So why are they calling him that?
Oh, dude, he's just the dog. We go out to eat and stuff, dude. He'll throw down, like when we eat chicken wings or something, he eats the bone and all. I gave the boy a deer shoulder and he cooked the deer shoulder. Then he tells me he boiled the bone and ate the entire bone out of the deer shoulder. Like, he's a dog. Wow. And he's the same way when he fights.
I
psycho.
Had to hear that. Like, I was like, that's insane.
Dude, he'll tell you straight up, the bone marrow is great for you. And he will.
I've always heard that.
He'll crunch him down in front of me. He's a dog too when he fights. Like, he's all about getting in his dog fight. Like, that's.
Oh my God, his last fight was crazy for as long as it lasted.
Yeah.
Like, I know he didn't get the result he wanted, but he almost had that guy put away. That's what was so wild about it.
Yeah. His last opponent, you know, I love that guy. He's a super nice guy. I actually fought him before too. But I mean, I'm going to just be honest. I think that homeboy got, you know, he should have played the lottery that night when he went home, because that was the luckiest shot I've ever seen. But whatever, you know, I'm biased.
Well,
My boy,
you see that
but
happen all the time, though. You know, so you'll see a guy get hurt really bad, or you'll see a guy land a great shot and have the guy hurt really bad, and then he goes in for the kill and gets a little reckless and gets caught. It almost happened to Stipe in that last fight against Ngannou, because he caught Ngannou with a really good shot, and it looked like Ngannou was hurt for a second, so he charged him and got caught with that hook.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was crazy. I mean, most guys, when they're hurt, you know, they're going to move away. They're going to cover up. Skyler, he gets hurt. He just starts throwing bombs, man. And he's got some power. He said that he hates feet in his face. He hates to get kicked. He hates feet. And when that foot hit his head, he was hurt. He said he was pissed off. And that's why he just threw the right hook. Man, and it landed perfect too. I mean,
it was a crazy fight to watch.
Yeah.
That was it just goes to show you know, doesn't matter how much you prepare, you know, you take all these things into account. One shot can turn the whole script backwards, you know, and especially if you get wild and reckless. And I mean, but one shot really can make the difference. And that's what's exciting about this sport. You know, it's hard to bet. I'm a big better in UFC. I usually lose, but it's typically because, I mean, you never know what's going to happen though. I mean, anything could happen. You seen what's her face get choked out and lose her title belt in the UFC. And was some dude put like a $315,000 bet on her and lost it. No one ever expected her to lose, but anything can happen. It is what it is.
Well, what's her face, man? She was a good champion.
I'm trying to think. I think of her name.
Amanda Nunes.
There goes
Now this girl behind Keith is coming for Nunes next fight.
Right. That's
now,
right.
I heard she can throw down.
I've heard she's the best boxer in West Virginia history.
I know she whoops Densel every day.
Or something like that. You know, something impressive like that.
Listen, somebody had to calm my dumb ass down and humble me. I had to find the woman to do it. So there she is.
So that's your old lady, Heidi, right?
Yep.
Yep. Future NLC boxing champion.
And tell me, how does she live with you? Like, how does she stand it?
I mean, pretty far away. We were doing the 6 foot rule before COVID was a thing.
But now I'm guessing things are a little bit more personal, right?
No, dude, 6 feet. What are you talking about? We keep room between us for Jesus, brother.
I mean, we did train together.
Yeah.
I did notice like an odd smell or two, so I can understand.
But no,
it just shows her character, though, how she just deals with it all, like with a brave face, you know.
Now that one right there, Keith. Now that one's I ain't ever won against that one.
No, you never will.
No, it's a losing battle. Now, I mean, we always make the jokes about how you need a sponsorship from Nesquik or Beef Jerky, and if they don't get their game on, then you're gonna have to drop them, and you're gonna have to like go to True Milk or something, or True Cow or whatever it's called. You're gonna have to start switching brands on these guys if they don't get on the train.
Many moves.
So,
well, dude, I've actually been in talks with Ovaltine. Yeah, and they wanted me to sponsor Strawberry Milk, and I told them, I was like, nah, that's trash. You know, I'm not about that. We're not about that action. Chalky Milk or bust.
Ooh.
So we couldn't sign the deal on that. But you know, I called him a bitch and rolled out.
Hey man, in honor of our first interview together, I've got mine ready.
I'm telling you what.
Now you know what? Like, all jokes aside, I think a company you could really get with, because they're a very popular company, but They're local too. Is Mingia beef jerky.
You
Yeah.
talking
They're
about
local.
Mingwa?
I have to learn to say the name of their company better.
What is
Mingia.
Is it Mingia?
Mingia.
Well,
I thought it was Mingwa.
Mingwa,
Mingua.
Mingia, melt your taste buds beef jerky. Okay.
That's why them whores won't sign me because I've been saying their name wrong.
I think that Austin's wrong and we're right.
Hold on.
Mingua.
Hey, I've never heard of them.
See?
Ming-
Mingua.
Mingia. Mingua.
It's Mingwa.
Yeah,
Wow, where you get the
Mingua.
Y at? Don't say no
You
W.
ain't.
Hey,
It's Cajun, son.
No,
Cajun.
hadn't you ever heard big wheels keep on pointing?
I'm getting attacked over
I
here.
think that would be a good sponsorship, considering that every time I go get a bag, it's like $20-some. So I would love for you to get a sponsorship, so you can just give me free
yeah,
beef
let's
jerky.
talk for a minute about the price of beef jerky because it's nuts.
Dude, listen, if I could
It's
get
always
sponsored
been
by beef jerky steak companies like the USADA, like grade A steaks, and gas prices, dude, that's the three most powerful sponsors in the world.
Yep.
Get sponsored by gas price.
I could see
Exactly.
Denzel on a commercial for Texas Roadhouse. Come on down, Texas Roadhouse. Get yourself a sirloin.
That's right.
No, see, that's the problem though. I don't mess with Texas Roadhouse because they tried to get cleaner. They got rid of the peanuts. You can't throw them in the floor no more. Fuck that. I grew up in a trailer court. Okay. I'm trying to hear crunching when I walk through the restaurant. You know what I mean?
What kind of fancy ass steakhouse is this?
Yeah.
How
I
dare
mean, the
Pop will
way I
try
eat
to
my
upgrade their city.
Yeah, no, the way I eat my steak, go outside, lop it off its old nasty ass, and stick it on there until it quits screaming, and I'm good.
You actually you're like, can I please kill the cow? Like if I could, I'd like to kill the cow.
Denzel's
Yeah.
the type of dude to bring his own steak in, tell the cook to get out of the way, cook it, and then pay for it.
Hey, dude, listen, I'm always posting some good steak pictures.
I know.
I cook really good steak.
I think you're a better cook than a fighter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Your food on Facebook, every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to his house. I got to get something to eat. I'm hungry. It looks good.
It'll make you harder than a roll of quarters. Day old Play-Doh. You know what I mean?
I believe it.
Yeah, Keith, we're not going to be able to post this.
So this is how it was last night.
Yeah, we don't care. Yeah, this is what we're looking for.
This is like Joe Rogan. It's off the rails. I'm probably going to be CMT by the end of it.
Yeah, I'm the hillbilly Dana White over here. Toothless Vince McMahon.
That's what like last night. I was like, do you think it was okay enough to post? And he's like, nobody's us anyway.
Hey, we've posted these interviews before, and then like you check it like a week later, and it's got like 16 views, one like one share. That was me. So that's why, yeah, he was worried. I was like, dude, nobody's gonna see this. And then he gets like 30 messages from people saying they watched the whole thing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
we gave. I actually, I think I called you out. I said, I think Denzel's gonna watch the whole thing. I think is that who I chose? Yeah, that was who'd you guys pick? I don't remember.
I think.
I said Steve Walden's gonna watch it.
Steve Walden
Hey.
watched it, and he probably called out y'all's cameraman. He thinks
So,
y'all probably have a cameraman. And he called him
I
out.
heard. So we haven't heard from Steve since he backed out of that fight. But I heard
Yeah, this
some
is
news.
big news right here.
I heard
Steve
some
Walden
news.
update.
I heard some news on Steve today. I heard he got banned from the VFW in Hinesville, Georgia.
Are
Yes.
you really going to throw that out there for the public?
And he lost his sponsorship with Miller Lite. That's what I heard.
You're going after
No.
Steve Walden.
No, I swear, man. I swear.
You dirty dog.
He tried. You know what? He tried
said
to
he was
jump on
drunk.
a bar stool. He can't make it. He
They
breaks the
said he
bar
was
stool.
he was drunk and belligerent and got thrown out of the VFW.
That's his
This is the
baseline, though.
VFW, man. That's what this place is for me to get drunk and belligerent.
Yeah. And every Thursday night they have a spaghetti dinner.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm here to eat spaghetti and get fucked up. Oh man, so he's banned from the VFW now. Poor
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, they were
Steve,
his
if you're
sponsor,
out
right?
there, we miss you, buddy.
We do.
We really do, man. I miss Steve.
We miss Steve hyping up fights and talking trash.
I got literally
was the
like
first
30
interview
people
I ever
willing to
did.
fight him in Hearts and Chapman.
We just need to add
So he's
Steve
gotta
to
fight.
every. We just need to add him to every fight card just so he can,
I
talk
don't
some
know.
trash,
trash.
hype it up.
Get him doing interviews with us.
No,
Do
you
a
should. Yeah, you
podcast.
should have him doing interviews and doing fight predictions.
There we go.
Yeah, he wouldn't be bad at that.
Just be a NLC personality. Yeah.
He would be
So
like-
moving
be
on
like-
from
You'd be like, so Densel and this guy's fighting. Steve, what do you think about it? He'd be like, Jeremy Browning, I'm coming for blood.
okay. Now, I got a new idea for a segment. We all got to do a Steve Walden impression. I want to see
God.
everyone's Steve Walden impression.
I'm
Let's
coming
see yours
to
again,
knock
Densel.
you out.
Let's go.
2 hours later, I got hand, foot, mouth disease on my back. I can't come.
I was out running. I had 409 taped to my arms to weigh him down.
Hey,
Okay.
boys, listen to me now. Densel give me some of that jerky, and it was Cajun, and it hurt my stomach ulcer. I ain't going to be able to fight. I'm down for 6 weeks.
On November 6th, when I step out of that cage, there's not going to be a shadow of a doubt that I'm not a fighter.
God. We're all sound like, I hope we don't look like bullies here.
All right, boys, I'm signing off.
We're not cutting this out.
He's a hero.
He is.
I
He's a
see
hero.
him as a
He's
hero.
a legend.
Like,
He's my
He's the
hero.
hero we didn't know we needed.
Like Zero the hero.
Instead of 0-2 hero, he's 0 the hero.
Yep.
We need to
Well.
make a movie about him. I still think that.
We could do that.
I kinda feel like- I
Call
kinda
me.
feel like
Hallmark.
We're going to
You-
Hollywood.
You need to
Make it
line
a-
him up. You need to line up a fight with with like one of his old opponents or one of the people he's called out and backed out from.
I
And
think he
have
should
him in
be
there.
by Hawkins.
Well, I think we should have him in there, like those two people ready to fight, and then Steve crash in on a 1992 Honda Rancher with beer just flowing, Stone Cold Steve Austin style, and just you can't
That
beat
Honda 300 have more chance of surviving. He would.
Oh, hell yeah.
it. Those things will survive a nuclear holocaust.
So, what's your training camp been looking like lately?
Well, I got Steve Walden. No,
You brought Steve Walden from Georgia.
Get
no,
some real sparring in.
man, I train every night. Usually 6 days a week. With holidays and stuff, I haven't been training as much, but we train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays open mat. It's also sparring days. And after classes, throughout the week, I always spot somebody to spar with me. And if I don't, then I got Eli holding pads for me, Colin holding pads for me. My boy Zombie, he hasn't gotten the fight yet. He's got some personal stuff going on, but dude, I nicknamed him Zombie because when he came to the gym, he still does. He looks kind of like Rob Zombie, not the third fucking island boy, Keith. But
I was about to say it.
I knew you were. That's why I cut it down right there.
I was
But,
waiting on you to stop so I could throw it out there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it in the same breath. But dude, now like we call him Zombie just because you can't stop him. He just is always coming. Like
He's a zombie boy.
But dude, like
I want to hear Keith sing
Walking
all that.
dead boy.
oh man. But yeah, dude, I do striking. Since this fight's kickboxing, I've been doing predominantly striking. I've still been hitting up some jiu-jitsu just to prepare for the March fight as well. Trying to always think ahead, but been doing a lot of kickboxing just to get ready for it. Focus on the fight at hand, deal with the next one later.
So what's it like when you come into a gym that like you did the other day and you're working just all about helping them learn, or I mean, how does that affect you going from a camp where you're being challenged and forced to get better and better, and then you come in and you're working with some of the newer guys just coming into the game?
I think it's a mix, man, because honestly, you know, a lot of people, you know, regardless how seasoned you are, a lot of times when people get hurt, you know, like you guys were talking about Skylar earlier, they go to being wild. And what do green people do? You know, they just throw wild. You know what I mean? So when I come in and I spar with people that are green and stuff, then it makes me look out for the wild punches they're going to throw, you know. So that's also a different look for me. Any kind of looks you can get in sparring and training and stuff, take them, you know. But I also like to give, you know, like you said, I came in and trained with you guys. I'm hoping, you know, you guys picked up something from me.
Absolutely. I know I did.
Smell.
You know, because I know my opponent, he's going to be wild. I think he's going to be reckless. And even though you wasn't wild and reckless, you was bringing a high pace.
I'd say we'll have to get the building fumigated.
You was charging forward and top you know, and that's something that I really haven't faced yet. So just like you said, any type of look I can get, you know, I'm sparring with these big boys and I spar a few, and then I got a few buddies at the house that's more of my size that I'll spar with. I'm just trying to get every look I can, so when I do get into the ring on the 29th, I don't take anything, most of everything. So
yeah, you like you said, you're training with bigger guys. So when you cut angles, your angles against those bigger guys are going to be deeper angles, you know. So when you do those angles against a smaller guy, you're going to be, you know, cutting way out of his range. You know what I mean? It's like it just helps out. Any kind of look you can get just helps. You know, you're training with the bigger guys. When you fight somebody your size, you're going to be cutting deep on them, and you're going to be out of their face. Then you're popping them from the side. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed so much, you know, sparring with you, like your head movement, especially, and your footwork. You're on another level there. I've sparred with a lot of good dudes, you know, guys your size too. It's not just because you're smaller. You've really developed some unique head movement, footwork. Like that's not easy to do. His style's hard to mimic.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, man. Dude, like I told you the other day, I don't like to get hit. So, you know, we do a lot of footwork stuff at Ground Zero. Eli's huge on footwork. I've learned a lot of good footwork from him. Mike Shahan, the other boxing coach at Ground Zero, I learned some good footwork from him as well. And I put all that stuff together. And Josh Fowler, you know, if you've dealt with Ground Zero guys, you've probably dealt with Josh Fowler out of Morgantown. He's one of our head coaches. He has a very unique style of fighting too. And I picked up a lot of movements from him. So, you know, putting all those together, it's just kind of giving me my own style. You know, I like that you, it's really an honor that you compared it to Dominic Cruz, but get hit. Anybody says they like to get hit, they're insane.
Crazy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I was just saying the other thing. I was saying that the other day, man. I hated getting hit. I don't trust my chin. I mean, so far, I think there's been one, I got rocked one time in a fight. It's probably the only time I ever got wild. I was tired in a fight and I hurt a guy and I came in for the finish and man, I just got blasted. Kind of don't remember the rest of that fight, but yeah, I don't like it, man. Most of my fights, I was boring, staying away, keeping, you know, stay on the outside, working my jab. I don't like getting hit.
Yeah.
It scares crap out of me, man.
Dude, so when you got rocked, then do you think that contributed to some like the brain damage you have now?
Absolutely.
Definitely contributed to the hair loss.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I
told Keith just to win the
talked about
baby
that
oil on his head.
Remember, it all fell out.
Reflect off of it.
The same night.
Yeah, it all fell out. Boom.
The same night. Yeah, I woke up like it was all over the pillow. Like what
heck, happened? Man? Did you just put your finger in a light socket or something?
I bet you got hit with that Boone County shovel punch.
Probably. It was something like that.
Yeah.
He got some of that shut up juice before it hit the market.
No, dude, I just don't like to get hit. You know, I'm missing a tooth. I got knocked out at work one time. And Heidi told me if I lose another tooth, she's gone. You know
what? That's a good question. How did you lose that tooth?
I got hit with a pipe that kind of blew off, and it just wow.
Mm.
Yeah, and
How did it do again?
wow.
Yeah.
But you should see. You think I look bad? You should see the dent that was in that pipe.
I'm not buying it. I think Heidi did it.
No. The black eyes that I cover up with makeup, that's her. She told me, she said, boy.
Did she teach
if
you how to
want-"
cover them up too? She's like, you can't be seen like this.
Yeah. She showed me a really good, what they call concealer. Mascara, I don't know. But she told me, she said, boy, if you want to live to see tomorrow, you better stop making them slimy, sloppy eggs.
Yes, ma'am.
Slimy, sloppy eggs.
That's a huge part of West Virginia culture there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slimy, sloppy eggs. I like my eggs either way. It don't matter to me. It still tastes the same.
See, that's how we know Cheyenne's got you lined out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Hey, how do you like your eggs? However you want to cook them, honey.
However you want them, baby. They're so
the
good.
other day we had that sparring video of me and Austin. I posted. And, he hit me up like right after I posted. You got to delete that. I said a cuss word. Cheyenne's gonna kill me.
Oh wow.
I didn't black out. I got hit hard and I don't even know what I said. It just came out. I was like,
You don't even know what you said.
I was like, you think it
You
hurt?
sound like you're in court.
Mother effer, you think that hurts? No, you got.
She washed his mouth
I do
out with
not.
soap. She said,
Yeah.
come on, Austin, come to the sink.
Got a bar of soap. Come here. No, we ain't doing that. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I really did.
So
How did a girl like Cheyenne get so lucky and land a guy like you, Austin?
God, I think the question is, how did a girl like? And,
What?
No, that's a. God, I think the question is, how did a girl like? And
What?
you know, I don't know. You know, a lot of people say it's my eyes, that I got beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and you can look into somebody's soul through their eyes. Good thing she ain't looked into mine yet, but because she's just so focused on the eyes. And I think I'm the best looking dude, you know, and
I'm lost, man.
I know.
It's a-
I don't know what he's talking about.
It's a good thing she
Now-
hasn't looked
now-
into his eyes and
now-
Listen,
because she's so focused on the eyes.
Listen, don't make fun of me because I got with a girl that's 3 years younger than me and has mental issues. Okay,
She's
and can't fully understand what ugly looks like. Okay,
She's
I
still in middle
capitalized
school.
on a good opportunity.
Whoa. Did he just insult her intelligence?
He's gonna be in trouble after this one
gotta
drops.
I'm digging myself a hole.
I think we figured out how to get to Austin. I think we finally figured it out. Or
Well,
at least
listen, if you really want to
if
talk
your
about that,
opponent's watching, he knows now.
Yeah.
no, if you
Josh
if you-
Kirby, we know you're
All
watching
you
this.
gotta do,
if
all
you
you gotta
if
do
you
is
want to
take
know
Austin.
how it was
is
when I
ask
told her I
him
was
how
5,
him and Cheyenne got together.
like my first ever sparring session to train for the fight was with Cheyenne when I told her that I was 5. It was horrible. I mean, I thought I was divorced. I was divorced before I got married. That's how bad it was. It was bad.
That's because she was focused on your eyes, but she wasn't looking in your eyes, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't looking in my soul.
Oh my God, you're never gonna live
Focus
this
on
one
that.
down, buddy.
He's gonna have to try to. He can talk. He's thinking, man. He's gonna talk his way out of this.
Oh,
He's
you
gotta
can't
figure
shut
it
the
out
mouth of
first.
the South up one.
No.
You see his eyes like,
Nah, I'm caught up. Sorry. It's over.
okay, moving on. What's it like to train with Eli Hawkins?
Dude, Eli, his nickname from one of the owners of the gym is the toughest guy I know. And it's true. Eli's a monster. He takes it easy on so many people. Yeah, he takes it easy on people a lot when he spars. And you can tell when he steps it up on you. You know, when training camp's in, he starts letting it fly a little more, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy is really good. He was
Dude,
just
I'm
letting
telling
me
you,
feel.
after that Tyrone Kenshin fight, I wouldn't want that smoke. I'm like, oh my
Dude.
God. he looks so clean. Everything he threw was just so clean and sharp.
Yeah, and that's how he is with sparring too. His style is really nice because he can switch it up. He can be just powerful and just dominant, like in your face and just beating the ass off of you. No joke? No joke?
I almost
No joke?
got
Come on, where they at?
you set it up. I almost was going to knock it out.
But then other times he can lull you, into his strikes. He'll bait you a couple times and he'll throw a couple things slow, and then as he's throwing it slow, he just speeds it up right at the end of the punch, and like you get hit. If Eli wants to hit you, you're going to get hit. That's just me and Colin say that all the time. Me and Colin talk about it, when we spar Eli and Eli's actually putting in work on us, we always say, sparring Eli's like your big brother picking on you. Like,
what's rolling with him? I've never got a chance to roll with him. I'm sure sparring with him, striking, he's terrifying. But,
his jiu-jitsu is really good too, man. Eli's got a lot of good stuff. And
that Von Flu choke he had in the, I think, second round of the last fight looks really tight. Maybe the third round, I can't remember.
I wanted to play some of this video, man, of Eli fighting while we're talking here.
You're slipping, Keith. We've been waiting on you the whole time. I try to give you verbal cues like, hey, what do you think about this? And then,
hey, are you slipping? Are you falling?
We almost sent his porn stash on there. All these illegally downloaded porn files.
That's right. I got the volume down, but man, Eli's loud in there. Tell me every strike he throws.
Really, the big thing I remember is he hit him with a jab, and then lead uppercut, and that really, I think that's what swelled up his eye.
Yeah, Eli likes to do a lot of same side stuff, but he also likes to do he switches it up so much. And that's one of the reasons I switch myself up so much is because Eli, that's one of the things he teaches and he beats into your head. Like, yeah, you can throw, right hand, left hand, right leg, left leg, or you can throw right, left, right. He just switches the tempo so much, and it's so hard to read how he fights. And I picked up a lot of good stuff from Eli over the years.
I wonder when we're going to see him next. I hope maybe in March.
I think I'm not sure exactly what his timeline is. I know we have a lot of guys from Ground Zero fighting on this card, and and it's a kickboxing card. He is our lead kickboxing coach, and that's what he said. He was like, I'm going to go down there and I'm just going to focus on coaching you guys and stuff, and he's a really selfless person. He gives a lot to the gym and to the fighters, and it's really, really appreciated because he's a good guy and he's always doing good stuff for everybody. He always sacrifices so much of his time.
Now, moving on to you, like, we've not seen you since was it NLC 6, I guess, against Tyler Eastout, which that fight materialized literally the night of the fight. Your opponent pulled out, Tyler's opponent pulled out, and we thought, these guys are the same weight class. They're both here, they're ready. And then you ended up fighting, and you had a beautiful knockout. Like, you really cracked Tyler, and he's the guy that's more like, I'm the boxer here. I think maybe a lot of people would have thought he's gonna win this fight. He's gonna be more technical, but you kind of ran through him. I don't know how long that fight was, but it couldn't have been more than 2 minutes.
I think it was like a minute and 3 seconds or something.
Yeah. So what was that like, having the opponent, finding out your opponent like a few minutes before the fight?
I mean, we trained for an MMA fight, but MMA, mixed martial arts. One of the martial arts is boxing. We train a lot of boxing at Ground Zero. We have, Eli is national champion, if I'm not mistaken. We have a lot of good, Mike Shahan that teaches with us and stuff. Mike's a super good boxer, really good boxing coach. So when you guys, lined up a boxing fight, I was like, hell yeah, I just want to punch somebody in the face. Don't matter. I would like to use smaller gloves, but whatever. I'll fight this guy. We're ready, and that's just how it is. The boxing fight, it's not MMA. I didn't get to slam anybody on their head like I enjoy or kick anybody in the face like I enjoy, but I still got to punch somebody in the face. We trained boxing quite a bit. So I do know Tyler's got a real quick check hook. He almost hit me with a check hook once, and I was like, no, this kid's faster than me. I'm going to have to beat him up real quick.
So did you feel like you had a power advantage coming in? You were like, I'm going to try to break him really quick.
Yeah. Because he threw that check hook, and like it was faster than I am. And I don't like admitting anybody. I don't like admitting anybody's faster than me or stronger than me or more technical than me. But he was quicker than me, so I was like, oh no, I'm just going to get in your face. You don't have time to use your technique and work out and stuff. You know, you don't have. He's like what, 6 foot. He didn't have time to use his reach on me. I just stayed in his face.
You know, we asked Austin a little bit about his relationship. I kind of more curious about Keith. You know, now that you've decided to make this crazy return to combat sports, when's Rebecca going to murder you? Like, when should we expect that to happen?
I think it depends if I win these fights or not. Because for me to get her approval on this, like I need it anyway, right? But for me to get her approval,
oh, he's getting big.
I had to.
Man, she's gonna end you.
Watch out.
I still got a little spine lift, but I told her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go and get like 5 or 6 wins, and I'm gonna try to get a big fight somewhere to make some money. Because she was a little upset until I started talking about money. So that's
so what's it like? What's it like having a midlife crisis? I'm not.
It's not bad. I mean, before we started this, podcast tonight, what was I talking about? I'm trying to get myself another fight, right? 2 weeks before the one I already have scheduled.
The other day, he hit me up on Facebook, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to take another fight 2 weeks before this fight." And that's when I was like, "Yeah, are you having a midlife crisis? What's going on with you, man?"
I think it's yeah. I'm starting.
He's not sinking 60 grand into a vehicle or something. That's usually what
he's already done that.
That was the thing. So I bought a new truck this year. One that I cannot afford. So that was it. I told her I was gonna take a few fights, get a big pay off the truck.
Can we just admire how sexy that guy is at Densel's? I better watch what I say.
Stroking.
Look at that beard. Look at that. Oh my God. So hold on, let me see if I can get that same post.
It was this guy breathing.
But the big thing about him are his eyes.
You can't look in them, but you got to focus on them.
God, I'm so sexy, boys. You know what? I'm backing out of my fight, and I'm being a ring guy.
Ooh,
take the ring girls out. Put me
hold
up
on. No. Earlier when we said, how did a girl like Cheyenne get with you? You said, well, no. The question is, how did a girl like and you caught yourself? So you're a ring girl, brother, sister.
I'm the best. I'm the best one in the game. That's all I got to say. Now I got competition. If you see on Keith's screen right there.
Fish for tough times, baby. Come on.
Listen, y'all don't want to admit it, but that is peak male performance behind Keith right there.
That's right.
Look at the bottom. Look at Elijah. Terrifying behind him.
Fish for tough times.
Mr. Clean if he worked in construction.
The best part about Steve pulling out of that fight, he was looking for every excuse. And like a few days before he actually pulled out, he called us up and he was like, yeah, I fell off a roof at work. He details cars.
Yeah.
10-foot ladder.
Yeah, I fell off a 10-foot ladder off a roof.
Hey, bud. Hey, he's in Georgia. They got lifted trucks down there, Bubby.
True.
Like very lifted trucks.
Yep.
That truck was 10
that truck tall. Was so high, he fell through a roof of a house.
What man's walking.
And we were like, oh my God, he's going to pull out. So we started calling him. And we call him and he ghosts us. And then he's like, yeah, I couldn't press the button on my phone. I was too sore.
Man, we had a crazy call that night. So we were, Yeah, he backed out. Was it the night before weigh-ins, right? So
Yeah.
like really, really late at night. So Elijah and I are calling people, like, hey,
we were sitting in the hotel. I was over in Keith's hotel room, and we were nothing nefarious going on. I promise. We were doing some business though, and Steve called us while we were in the middle of matchmaking.
Yeah, I had somebody on the line, and so he's over there like FaceTiming Steve. I had Mikey Fernier on mine. We're like holding their screen. Mikey knocked out Steve.
Yeah, so Mikey was on the other line. I forgot.
So yeah, and Mikey was asking Steve if he had Agent Orange on his back or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. He called us a few days later after all the whole falling off the roof debacle happened. And then he was like, I have a rash. He said, no.
Hand, foot, mouth on my back.
He sent us a picture of his back. We both get a message at the same time, and it's just his back. And we're like, what the fuck?
What is this? I was like, he's backing out. Yeah.
It's like, I can't fight. I'm contagious. That's literally, that was the message. I'm contagious.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So if you
you have to turn your background off.
You try that, Densel. It's already been pulled.
There it is. There's his back. He's contagious.
You've still got the message.
He fell in, what was it? He said he fell in insulation 25 years ago.
He said, I'm contagious. I can't come. It might
be from working in installation 25 years ago.
I said, what is that? He said, I have no clue. I think it's hand, foot, and mouth. I know my worker has it too. I'm being laughed at over this. I'm done. I'll never fight again.
Dude, go to the picture. Bro, he's thick with 3 C's.
That's the body that you want. When you hit 35, 40, that's the body you want.
Peak performance.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. That is 200 and whatever pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal.
I don't know if you remember his interview. If you saw it, he was like smoking cigarettes and drinking beer during his pre-fight interviews.
I was hyping him up.
Love you, Coach.
He was going to come fight.
Love you, Coach.
Don't you ever call me Coach.
Oh my God, Ryan Carroll roasted him. That was the worst part.
We had Steve on that day. We started a Zoom call and we were waiting for Ryan to get done with class, and Steve was talking so much trash. He was starting to drink, but he was talking so much trash about how he's going to smash Ryan and all this crap. And then Ryan gets on there and he's like, I love you, Coach. I respect you, Coach. And Ryan couldn't get a word out without Steve. Right, Coach.
I love you.
Love you, Coach.
Oh my God, that's terrifying, man.
Ooh, dash attack.
Now, we rolled a little bit, and I don't want to give away any of your secrets, but you're a knee bar nut job. Like, what's going on? How did that start? When did you start knee barring everybody?
Well, when I got with Heidi, she's got real nice feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I developed them.
You wanted to get them as close to your nose and mouth as possible.
Hey, ear, nose, and foot.
Hand, foot, mouth disease.
Whatever.
Is that it? Really? Is like you have a foot fetish? So
no.
Knee bars were your natural progression in jiu-jitsu?
So when I was a white belt, there was a guy, really good guy out of All-American MMA. Ground Zero hosted a tournament, and I won the no-gi division. And then I did the gi division, and there was a guy, real super good guy, really good at jiu-jitsu. He trains out of All-American MMA with Nick Brown and my boy Ethan Hayes and all those guys. His name's Richard Roby, and we had a pretty good roll for a minute, and then he grabbed a hold of my leg, and I was like, oh, an ankle lock? No, it wasn't an ankle lock. This man rolled over, and I was like, what in the hell is he doing? This man is humping my kneecap. And then I realized, like, oh, this hurts real bad. And I tapped, and I was real pissed off that I lost. And I was like, what the hell was that? What was going on with that? And Josh Fowler was like, oh, wait, I haven't showed you a knee bar. And I was like, you probably have, dude, but I've had a few concussions and I don't remember anything. So, dude, that started my my knee bar journey. I went down the knee bar rabbit hole, and between Josh Fowler and Travis, and Colin. Colin's a monster with leg locks. And Clint. I don't think you guys have met Clint. One of our jiu-jitsu coaches. Clint is he showed me a lot of good stuff with knee bars, man, and I've just been flying with it.
Your entries, you have a really nice Imanari roll, really nice entry into it. It's kind of sneaky.
Kiminari, whatever you want to call it, whatever you got me
that.
in that day, I was flabbergasted. I didn't know what was going on. I just seen you start rolling like a ballerina doing front flips on crack, and then before I knew it, my leg was
like a ballerina doing front flips on crack.
I don't know how to explain it. It happened so fast. I was like, okay.
I like because I'm missing a tooth. I'm always on crack or meth or something. Come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
not everybody can be a pretty girl like Austin.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, guys.
Not everybody can have those eyes that you just want to look into.
But you can't. But no.
I got it.
I have a story. So the last New Line card, I don't know if you listened to the pay-per-view. And like Austin was wearing sunglasses the whole time. So during the commentary, a couple times I made a joke. I was like, dude, you on cocaine or something? Why are you wearing sunglasses? So flash forward a few weeks and I've started the gym and Austin starts training with me. And me and a few other guys are in the weight room, like before class hanging out. And here comes Austin in. He walks in and he's like, hey, what's up, guys? Super normal. Walks up to us. He has white powder all over his nose. Like, dude looks like Scarface. And all of us are like looking at each other, looking at Austin, like, what in the world? He had no idea. He was acting completely normal. So I was like, is Austin really on cocaine? It turned out he'd done his pre-workout right before and put the cup in and tipped it back and got it all over his nose.
I didn't have time, so I was out in the parking lot and the little scooper, and I was back and washed it down. I'm walking in there. What's up, guys? How's it going? Everybody's like, what's going on? And I'm like, what? You guys ready for today? And they was like, awesome. Listen, we got.
They were doing that with their eyes, like, you know, because they couldn't look you in the eyes. But no, you had mentioned that Imanari roll. I picked that up from Colin and Luke. Luke fought on one of the cards before, two of them.
You think is Colin good at them because he thinks they're like a bone? He's going after your leg, trying to get to that bone and eat it.
That might be it. He might be trying to get your bone marrow, brother.
Yep, training with a cannibal and you don't even know it. Not an animal.
That's the thing. Keith and I have talked about this. You know, you guys in Morgantown at Ground Zero are maybe one of the nicest and easiest gyms to deal with, you know, as far as matchmaking and stuff. Like, you're just all such nice guys. It's almost suspicious. It's like you're maybe some kind of cult and we don't know about it. Is he the leader? Is Eli the leader of the cult? I thought it was Fowler. Now that I've seen him on Facebook, all the weird stuff he posts, I think he's up to something.
All right, now Fowler hasn't asked me to drink any kind of Kool-Aid or anything, but
are you waiting for a spaceship or anything though?
Dude, what are you talking about, dude? You go out every night at 9 p.m. and you throw carrots into the sky for the spaceship to catch as it goes by.
Everybody knows that.
Duh.
You go around to everybody's yards at Ground Zero. There's carrots everywhere.
Yeah, and Eli's the enforcer. If you don't, if he doesn't come by and see at least 6 carrots in the air at that time at your house, and he's like Santa Claus, he's at everybody's house. If he doesn't see carrots, it's not fun. Heidi, do we have any carrots? Nothing.
So now you're a dad too, and you may have given your son the coolest name that I've ever seen. So your son's name's Ronan. Where'd that come from?
when I was in 2016, I had 2 MMA fights. I won one, lost one. And that was the last time I lost. And I was trying to think of a ring name, and one of my buddies at the old gym that I trained at, he gave me the nickname Ronin, and because I used to jump around to different gyms. I still like to cross train as much as I can, but I used to really do it back in the day. And he was like, "Dude, you're like Ronin, like you don't, you're no real loyalty to any gym." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool, man." But when my kid was born, I wanted to name him after me because, I mean, why not, But I didn't want to name him fucking Densel. Like, come on, So then I named him Ronin, and then after I named him Ronin, I was like, hell yeah, my kid's got a cool nickname, I mean, a cool name. Like, that's awesome. Then I was like, fuck, now I don't have a ring name. I can't just be like, they're not going to be like Densel the Ronin, and my son's going to be like, what? Like, so I've been without a nickname this whole time, and we're still a little up in the air, but I think we kind of settled on a nickname now, finally.
Chupacabra.
El Chupacabra. No. Heidi actually threw out El Diablo. Bobby wanted me to go. Bobby Johnson, my teammate, he wanted me to go with Chaos.
Bobby has the best nickname I've ever heard.
What is
I
it?
don't know if you heard that last New Line broadcast, but it's Bobby Johnson. That's what we called him. On his sign-up sheet, it's put, do you have any nicknames? And he just put Bobby. So we went Bobby Johnson.
Well, he's got
Bobby Johnson.
You gotta talk
a
about
nickname
cool
now.
people
I
all
gave
the
him
time. Keith did me the honor to fight Kirby, the Super Mario character, and my fight is going to be the best fight of the night. I mean, you got the commentator versus Pink Bubblegum back here.
We should make Austin's ring name. Like, we should just put a play on the word commentator and call him the Commentator.
There we go.
Commentator.
The commentator.
I mean, it's sad to say that the dude's going to get whooped by somebody that hangs out with Patrick Starr. It's going to be an embarrassing night for him. I mean, that's when I had Raymond Noodle hair.
Does your ass ever get jealous of the shit that comes out your mouth?
Sometimes it competes back and forth. It competes.
So after all this, after you do this kickboxing match, after you fight in March, what's next for you? There was some talk about you turning pro. You think that's the next step?
I don't know. It just depends on what my coaches tell me to do. I've always listened to them when it came to, Ground Zero. I have a lot of trust in all those guys. If they, tell me, hey, stupid, start getting paid, then I'll do it. But if not, the commentator.
How do you do it quickly?
Oh man. But
How?
Google image search. I literally searched commentator. It came up.
But if they tell me that she'll 10 more amateur fights, I'll do that. Whatever. As long as I get to punch people in the face, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of people turning pro too. That
As long as you aren't
too early,
leg.
It's good that you're racking up experience in amateur fights before, if it's something you want to take serious. And I think, me personally, you should go fight in B2, one event, win, but in your interview, wear a New Line shirt.
Keith knows over there having a stroke.
Don't do it.
And then call out their commentators.
Hey, you know what you should do? You should go fight for all our competitors.
Yeah,
damn.
and sell all their tickets.
Our one champion that's loyal and be like, yeah, get out of here, man. You're too good. You're too good for New Line. Go to B2.
Go to B2 and call it.
Yeah, Densel, I keep trying to set you up to lose, man. I've been trying to screw you over since 2019. You're gonna have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's not working out,
dude. I've been just getting lucky. I mean, come on.
Been outmatching him every time, and he just just pulls through somehow.
Densel, I've heard from some people that you're a gym bully. Some people being me.
Wow. Listen, dude, I don't want to hear anything.
You started it, Elijah.
My shin is so sore from your cheekbone. I mean, it's just plumb awful.
I will give Densel credit. So
I've got a
Elijah
hard
started
head.
it with a leg kick that was very unnecessary.
Yeah, Elijah, why'd you do that, man? Y'all supposed to be going light.
I don't know how to throw kicks, do I?
No, listen, I threw one head kick and loaded his hip. I was like, this man is throwing like he's trying to knock me back in time. Like, this man is trying to put me through 3 trailers right now in the court. I'm not dealing with it. So I just blocked my ribs because I was like, oh, here we go. Then I realized it was coming higher, and I was like, oh, I'm getting decapitated. So I literally just leaned over into it so it couldn't travel all the way up to my head, and it caught my shoulder, and I went about 3 feet. So the next head kick I threw was a wee bit harder.
I think I legitimately think you hit me with 3 of them.
I don't remember.
I think you got me with 3.
It's not Denzel's fault that you like to eat head kicks like a box of Pop-Tarts, Elijah. I mean,
you really just looked at me like this when I kicked you. I mean, that last one I hit you with, I felt bad when I threw it because I got some ass behind it, and it hit, and you literally just went, and then stopped completely and looked at me and went, woo.
Woo. That's the bad.
And I was like, and I thought to myself, anything that this man lacks when it comes to fighting, he makes up for in just pure toughness.
Yep.
Like, if there's anything, if his opponent ever outclasses him in speed or strength or technique, he ain't gonna be as tough as him.
Well, I'll definitely be posting this one on Facebook. This clip. That makes me feel good.
Oh man,
dude, I had fun. I enjoyed it. I'll tell you what, Todd Adams and Alex Davis hit me. It felt almost harder than those head kicks. Like those boys are big.
Yeah, there's some hosses.
Oh my God.
I'm just excited to say I lasted longer against Alex than what Matt did.
Oh,
dude.
Oh,
I'm telling Davis beat me up pretty good. And I'm telling Todd Adams. Like, I know his last fight was short, but man, that left hook he has, he threw that left hook at me, and I legitimately did not see it coming, and it hit me right on the button. Like, and it was hard. It was a good one. That dude's fast for a guy his size.
Mm-hmm. He was looking good, man, and he landed a shot, kind of knocked Eric across the ring because Eric kind of stumbled back. Todd probably didn't do a lot of sprints leading up to that because he ran across that ring after Eric. And when he got
I felt like
he couldn't breathe.
Like I could hang with those guys though.
Yeah.
We had 2 rounds. Then Densel showed up and just beat my ass. Like, he just beat my ass.
See, we need guys like Densel, so when Elijah gets to big head for whooping on 130-pound guys like me, then Densel comes in and he's like, heard you like Pop-Tarts.
Oh, heard you like Pop-Tarts.
Did you call Densel? Were you like, Densel, you need to come down here? He's bullying.
I was sick and tired of being bullied. I said, Densel, listen, me and you, we're gonna stage this thing where you come
Mingo
down.
County,
We'll
baby.
go 2 rounds. We'll
if
stage
you would have
it,
ran through me,
I need you to whoop Elijah.
I had to quit. I'd have had to take my stuff and just go home and cry a little bit.
I tell you what, if you lose this fight coming up,
I don't even know if I hit you once. I really don't. I told you that earlier. It didn't feel like I did.
Pure fear. That's all it was. It's the only reason I didn't get hit. Every time I saw it come out, I stood inside. I peed a little bit. I'm wearing that steel cup, so it all kind of accumulated there. I just ran. That's all I do. I get scared.
I did. I was trying to chase you. Dude, that's the thing. His footwork is so good. I couldn't catch up with him. I was trying to chase him down. I got wild too, trying to hit you with something. I was like, I gotta hit him with something. Nope.
Hit him with a chair, man.
Yeah.
I felt proud that I got him with a little jab body shot, and then I realized like it was pathetic, didn't hurt at all. He looked at me, he was like, all right, watch this. whack, 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 whack. And I'm like, oh,
we
God.
should have probably jumped him. I think we probably should have jumped him in the parking lot after.
I think so.
Wait, that wasn't y'all that did that?
There's some sketchy people around there, so you never know.
I was wondering why Heidi told me I deserved it while they were kicking me.
Ooh.
Oh,
She probably does that every time you get beat up, though.
no, she tells me all the time, if you get beat up in the ring, then you're getting your ass whooped at home too. And as you can see,
Tell him, Heidi.
Look at
Tell him.
There's only two people in
This
the
whole
world
podcast,
that
we've talked about
Densel
Heidi.
can't beat, and that's
Jesus.
Heidi and his son. Heidi whoops him physically, and his son whoops him mentally.
See,
when
you
he's
look
up
at that
3 in the
picture
morning
behind-
because the baby's screaming, crying.
You would think that's a blissful relationship. Never
She's
knowing.
twitching. She's
Elijah.
pinching me.
Beat
You know that
up.
spot on your tricep if somebody pinches it hurts real bad? She's doing that in that picture to make me smile.
Look, it just looks so sweet. See, this is where we need live photos so we can see the before and after. You know what I mean? You're like, God, all right. God, what'd you do that for? Ow. That's what we need to see.
No. I don't complain anymore, brother. I just say thank you, dear. I deserve that.
She gives me nightmares.
I'm still
Keith, you take her home for a week.
No.
I'm still getting over that pneumonia.
No, I'll be honest.
Can she clean house?
Dude, listen. If it wasn't for her, this house would be a disaster. But dude, I'll be honest with you. She's I'm
Because
really,
are you a mess? Are you
Oh,
a
dude,
messy bitch?
dude. Come on. Have you seen the way I look? Of course I'm messy. Get out of here.
Ever since
Are there just chocolate milk bottles everywhere?
peanuts,
I literally
peanut shells.
picked up a half empty thing of beef jerky here from beside my
When
bed.
you go in Denzel's house, there's peanut shells all over the floor.
The Olds clean the hardwood floor, guys, okay?
That's the only way he feels comfortable. We know that already.
But no, in all seriousness though, I'm really lucky because not only does she train with me, you know what I mean? If I can't make it to the gym, or if we go to the gym at an off hour, because our work schedule is messed up, she's always there to hold mitts with me, spar with me and everything. And she's really supportive and stuff. And she always, if I'm not cooking, she's cooking some fire food, dude. She made salmon the other night. I've ate deer meat every night this week, except for the night we ate salmon. She's always cooking some good stuff. So pretty lucky. I mean, she gets to look at me every day, so she's pretty lucky too.
Dear God.
I do have these thick Hispanic
Ego's
hips.
rubbing off.
Where the power comes from.
That's it. These
Now,
birds.
Cheyenne can make some good
Mhm.
pasta. I'll give her that. She makes some good pasta. She's a good sparring partner if cat clawing is legal.
Brother, I saw you without a shirt on. You ain't seen a carb in 6 years.
I know,
My metabolism's
when I
high, man.
when I saw those fight pictures, those pre-fight pictures, I was like, damn, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hey, Austin,
shredded.
since we're live on video, Elijah and I were talking earlier. We got some news for you about your opponent.
Oh yeah,
He has a lot more than just one fight.
yeah.
He's fought a lot.
Hey, what, in the backyard?
No.
He's fought a tough man, rough and rowdy. He fought in several of those tournaments, 2017, 18. So I guess you can do some digging for some video online. But
That's what a good buddy Keith is. It's like let's
Yeah.
wait and let's
Let's
break
wait till
it
we're-
down live on the
Yeah.
podcast.
if he's been fighting from 17 and 18, he still looks like he does in 2021. I ain't concerned one bit.
Hey,
Okay.
Hey, hold on. I got a quick question. Number one, Austin. 2 questions here. I'm gonna ask you guys this, and I want y'all to answer me one at a time here. Austin, number one, are you walking out to a Morgan Wallen song? Number 2, Elijah, are you walking out to my dog CJ's newest hit?
I'm hoping. I told him that if he writes a song about us, I'll walk out to it.
I'm debating it.
You should walk out to a love song by Morgan Wallen. What one?
Wasted on you.
There you go. And just tell him
Well, you
you're
walk
wasting my
out, Denzel.
time in here, boy. Like,
How much would it cost to get CJ to do a Morgan Wallen song
Ooh, get him to perform.
live. Yeah.
He does covers all the time. We should get CJ to do the national anthem.
He might.
For the rain, as we watch.
That's
Baby.
not a bad impression of him, actually.
And then you got to crank the auto tune that's not in tune, and then you got to crank it to 100.
You know, my favorite thing about CJ's music videos,
What's that?
all of his music videos, the women in them,
I'd
they're
tell
always,
y'all.
they're always taller than him. Like every single one of them. The woman's like way taller than him.
It's the heels, man. They're wearing heels.
There's one you have to watch it. I wish I could tell you what it's called so people can go watch it. I wish you could pull it up right now, Keith. There's one, and
Hey,
it's like,
if you send me the link, I'll pull it up.
I already got you.
you know the one
Send
I'm
me the
talking
link.
about, the sexy one, like the really sexy one.
Yeah. Is it the one that I sent in the thing to you?
I don't know. There's one though where the music video starts out and CJ is in a hotel room, like, and he's on the phone. He's like, "Hey, baby, you coming over?"
Oh shoot.
And eventually she calls him. He's like, "Oh, you here? I'll be right down." And he comes down and he goes outside and you see it's a Comfort Inn. Like it's a cheap motel. And instead of like, he comes all the way down, shows him going in the elevator, goes outside and meets her. And they just come in and go all the way back up. It's the weirdest production value ever. It's like, why? Why
So
not?
have you guys,
Why not
have
just
you
like, hey,
guys
baby,
heard,
you're here. Come on up to the room. I'll be waiting.
have you
If
guys heard,
I
like,
mean-
I don't know, cattle decapitation's new music or anything? Something, worthwhile?
Maybe Comfort Inn. Maybe Comfort Inn paid him and it's like, you got to get our logo in.
You
this."
gotta get
Yeah.
us in there, dude.
Get it,
Hey,
yeah.
I need
Logo
I need to
placement
start
right
making
there.
music. This guy's getting a bunch of sponsors. He's sponsored by Comfort Inn.
I know.
Mm.
Hey, we're
And, like-
promoting his music. He can't be mad right now.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
his songs has like 60-some thousand views. So, man, like, where's this?
Where's Chalky at?
No, hold on. Let me show you what Heidi got me the other day. Hold on. Oh man, I'm telling you, this is why she's a godsend. I'm telling you, you just wait a minute.
Man, my internet's so slow right now.
Okay. Now let me just show you something here, okay?
Oh no, can I
Because
screen share?
she brought this home.
Let's see. Is your internet slow, Kate, yet?
No sugar
Oh.
added.
What?
Chalky milk.
What's that?
What's the point?
What's that?
Wow.
Is that the weight cutting chocolate milk?
There's only 40 calories per 12 ounces of chalky milk.
You could be drinking it instead of water.
Dude, I can
You
do
don't
my
even need
water
to drink
loading.
water anymore.
Game over. Oh God.
Oh
We're
my
doing-
gosh.
Can y'all hear it?
No, you're lagging so bad.
Oh,
Yeah, that was earlier with the Eli Hawkins fight. It was lagging pretty bad.
Hold on. Enable screen sharing for me, and I'll play it.
It looks like I'll
all right. Hang on. Let me get back in here. All right. How do I do that?
Hey, baby. Yeah,
yeah,
meet me.
you sing it, Austin. It'll be fine that way.
I just want
You know what the best part of this podcast has been so far? Is asking Austin
Here we
how
go.
to catch shotgun.
This may fix it here.
I've never seen somebody stumble over a question.
Is this any better?
No.
All right, here we go. Yeah. DJ Love.
Oh, here we go.
Something that you never seen before. I wanna hear you say, I wanna hear you say, don't Stop, don't stop. I'ma give you something that you never had before. I know you need it.
Yeah.
My God. Oh my God.
Man, where this girl at? All day.
He's hired a
Right here.
prostitute.
Babe, what's it go? Whoa.
Hello?
Baby,
Hey, what's up, babe?
I'm here.
Girl, where you been? Girl, you been in traffic? I've been waiting on you all day.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna tell you up tonight, girl.
Alright. I'm on my way in.
A little whip,
All right.
lick.
This is a different video with the very same
Play dance with
concept.
me. I'm gonna get that.
Like,
No, you need it.
ideas.
He got to finish painting that
Stephanie
wall.
Estelle.
I wonder how much she costs for an hour of her time.
Wow.
I know you wanna love, but I just wanna fuck. Girl, you know the deal. I gotta keep it real. I know you wanna see. I know you wanna be in my BED, grinding slowly. I know you wanna love,
You know,
but I just
this
can't
one is a lot
fuck.
more
Girl,
BGE
you
than the
know
one
the
I was
deal.
talking
I'm
about.
trying to keep it real.
Hey, guys,
I know you
After
wanna see.
I watched
I know
the
you
other one,
wanna be
I legitimately feel like that I know what it's like to have sex with that man. And I don't like it.
I gotta be honest. I've never tapped out in a fight in my life, but I'm tapping out right now.
Yeah. Kill it.
I'm giving up. You win.
Oh
I
boy.
gotta fight that guy.
He sounds like, honestly, a young Casey and JoJo.
I don't know who that is. I wish I did.
Keith knows.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
Keith's
Sorry,
going
Jason
crazy,
Derulo's
crazy, crazy
Ghost
just
Rider.
to thinking about you lately.
Yep. Danced to that in high school, man.
Oh, but hey, wait till you hear what I'm walking out to, brother.
I'm always looking forward to that.
Is it scary?
No, we switched up. We ain't going with no Ralph Stanley. We ain't going with no Johnny John Cash. It was almost Johnny Cash, but I changed my mind. We walking out to a song me and my little brother used to jam all the time. But I can't tell you guys because I don't want everybody to know.
Salt and pepper here.
Oh,
No.
speaking of that, speaking of
Oh.
that, I didn't know if it was something you'd want to talk about or not, but like, I hinted at it earlier. Things have been different for you lately. And I think most people know, you lost your brother. And like, it was unexpected. We talked about it in the first podcast. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
Just briefly mentioned it.
Yeah.
But life has a tendency to surprise you in the worst ways sometimes.
For sure.
So what's it like preparing for a fight now? And I know he's always been close to you during this time. Like, what's it like without him?
So when I walk out, I'll be wearing a shirt that'll have his face on it, in memory of him and everything. I'll probably wear that to every fight from now on. But it's hard, but it's also I try to find, there's no good in somebody dying, especially somebody close to you, like me and my little brother. He was my first best friend, you know what I mean? And I've never competed until, without him there, until I did that jiu-jitsu competition and won like 3 weeks after he passed. But it's sad, and I was really upset. I was honestly to the point where I didn't want to do anything. I suffer from depression. Fighting's actually helped me manage that a lot, but that on top of losing my little brother really just made me want to just give up. You know what I mean? It still hits sometimes. I'm a man, I'll admit it. Earlier today I cried about it. Popped in my head some stuff me and him used to do, and I got real upset about it for a minute, but dealt with it, suck it up, and moved on. But I started thinking about it. Me and Heidi were talking about it one day, and we had a good conversation. And after the conversation, I kind of realized, like, he wouldn't, he was always there to watch me compete. So I need to be competing to, like, whip the ass off these people. You know what I mean? And I've been training harder for this fight, and my next fight I'll be training hard for that one too. But I've trained harder for this fight than I've trained for any other competition that I've ever done. I know that VO2 Fitness that my opponent's out of, that's a good gym. I've seen some of their fighters on the last card. There's some smooth guys, and I'm sure my opponent's bringing some good stuff with him. But I've, like you guys have said earlier, I've walked through everybody that I've fought so far, and I wasn't training nowhere near this hard. So I feel bad for. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't feel bad. If you're gonna say you'll fight me, you deserve to suffer, and that's what I'm gonna do. The world deserves more suffering sometimes, and that's what I'm gonna deal out. Is I don't want it to be a quick fight. All my fights have ended. I think all my fights for New Line, except for Sam Kinker, have ended in the first round. No, I want to drag this out 3 rounds. I want to drag it out to the end of the third and then finish it there. But yeah, a lot of anger, but also a lot of drive from that. So like I said, it still gets to me sometimes. Like he's been at every one of my fights, any competition I've ever done. Well, we actually fought on a Rough and Rowdy together when he was like 18 and I was like 19. I got runner up in that. Then the next year we fought and he got runner up, you know what I mean? And then eventually I started winning them. But yeah, so it's a different feeling because it's something hard to deal with, my mom, I feel bad for her. She lost her son, and it's really tough. Probably something. I'm getting fight shirts made. I posted about it not too long ago. Heidi talked me out of it, but I was actually, my little brother was actually the crash he was in was caused by somebody who was high on drugs. And on the back of my fight shirts, I was going to put shoot your local meth dealer. Heidi talked me out of that one. But yeah, dude. So
like I can't imagine like the anger that you feel. Like I remember that day. I remember we were supposed to actually do an interview together. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure sure that whole day was a whirlwind. But like, and then out of nowhere, you get news that something's happened, and you can't. I don't even think you knew what had happened when you messaged us and told us that you couldn't do it.
Yeah, I got a call from my aunt and she told me, she was like, "Hey, Bob, I was at work. Luckily, the company that I worked for, man, they're just awesome. When at my little brother's funeral, we walked in and there was 2 big baskets full of stuff and flowers from the company stuff. It was awesome. But anyway, I was at work and I got a call from my aunt. She was like, "Hey, Bob, your mom was in a bad car accident." And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck, And so I left. And I remember because my little brother Sean is he wasn't the baby of the family. He was born a year after me, year and a half after me actually, but he was my mom's baby. You know what I mean? And so the first thing I do, I find out my mom's in a wreck. I call the person who's always with her. I call Sean. I called him 3 times, 4 times, and he didn't answer. And then I found out a little later, hey, Sean was in the wreck with her. And then I was like, what the hell, and Heidi meets up with me, and she was actually in Charleston. Her and my little brother Chris worked together, and she left Chris, and he went to go meet my mom and them at Logan General Hospital, and she met me. She didn't want me driving, so she met me like halfway down I-79 there, and I rode with her on down to Charleston. And as we're going down through her, I get told, hey, Sean's daughter Chloe was in the car, and I was like, yo, whoa. Then as we're at the hospital, we find out. I can't remember if it was before or after the surgeon came and told us. And I told Heidi, I was like, I'm gonna get on there and say some dumb shit. But yeah, it was an awful day, man. A lot of stuff that gets replayed over and over. There's still, I guess there's still supposed to be criminal charges pressed. Hopefully they are. If not,
what was it like in that moment when you found out why it had happened?
Oh, dude, it was pure anger.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to deal with a lot of junkies and drug addicts, in my life. And that's just it. And I've always, I've never had much sympathy for people who are addicts. I know that's a controversial thing. that's just that I always the trailer court was doing me. Made for a rough life growing up. She did really good protecting us, my stepdad, and and everything. But I've dealt with in my adult life people being drug addicts and stuff, and I wear a shirt at the gym all the time. That's where I got the idea of shoot your local meth dealer. It says kill your local drug dealer on the back. But and we used to have a pharmacist that trained at the gym. She didn't like that shirt very much. But when I found out that that's why, I was like, so some pile of shit decided to go do drugs and then go on a drug run or whatever. And now my little brother's dead. My mom has, I don't even know how. I think she had somewhere along the lines of like 15 or 20 broken bones, including ribs and stuff, and my little niece, her jaw was broken. She had a big scrape on her face. My cousin broke her arm in a couple of places, and we were worried that she's pregnant at the time. We were worried that she lost her baby. I guess as far as I know, the baby's still good and everything. So we're thankful for that. But all this horrible stuff was caused by someone's negligence and just being a complete fucking idiot, and just driving while under the influence of any kind of substance is just a selfish thing. And if you do it, you're a pile of shit. I posted on Christmas, Merry Christmas to everybody except for meth heads and drug dealers. You know what I mean? That pure anger. Yeah.
And I knew why you posted that. Like I knew he's thinking about his brother. Why? Of course you are.
Yeah. And
it's not something that's going to go away. You know that.
That
anger is going to be hard to let go of. I don't know if you ever will be able to. I don't know if I would.
No.
Your whole life changed in one moment. And not for the better.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I tell people all the time, my little brother Sean, out of all four of us, he was the most gentle of the bunch. That's why he was Mom's favorite, because Mom always knew how gentle and kind he was, and how big hearted he was and everything. And she knew that the world kind of sucks a lot of the time, so she always kept him close to her and everything. And he always loved being around my mom. His favorite thing in the world to do was take them out to lunch. Him and my mom and his daughter. They were always together. And that's the thing. Nobody deserves to die at the hands of somebody who made a stupid fucking decision. But especially not somebody as kind-hearted as him. You know what I mean? He's always smiling. Always. I go out. Every once in a while, I'll go through messages that me and him talked about, and he's always up, or you're great, anytime. He would just message me out of the blue, like, hey man, just want to check on you, hope you're doing good. Just the kind of person he was. He always had a smile on his face, and for that to be taken by some trash bag doing drugs, 2 trash bags actually, there were 2 of them in the car, both of them were on drugs, yada yada. But for such a bright person to be taken from the world, I don't think that I'll ever get over it, because the world's darker. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And now, after all that happens, after something like that happens, and everything changes and everything falls apart, how do you move forward? How do you come to terms with that? And how do you keep going?
I mean, I don't think I fully come to terms with it. I don't think you ever will. I ever will. I don't think you can. You just, you learn to cope. Me and Heidi, we had COVID right before Christmas, and we were in quarantine. Well, we got out of quarantine 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and we had to do all of our Christmas shopping last minute. And I looked at my Christmas list. My little brother's name was on there, because I started my Christmas list before. And I was like, damn, and then later on, when I was going back through the list, I would be like, damn, why is Sean's name not on there? And then I'd realize, like, oh shit, and me and Heidi were actually driving to the Morgantown Mall up here. And I told her, I was like, yeah, we can go in American Eagle and get, and I caught myself, and I was like, never mind. And she understands what's going on when I stop like that. I was thinking, going in there and get him some gifts and stuff. But yeah, dude, you don't really, get over it. You don't, you just learn to cope with it. And I don't think I don't think anybody in our family's fully accepted it yet. Sean, like I said, Sean was he was a big part of the family. He was always happy, smiling and stuff. But that's kind of where we're at with that.
That's, I know it's not easy to talk about it, but it's something I did want to talk to you about because I think there's a lot of people. That's one thing that we all share. Everybody's going to deal with grief at some point. Like, whether we want to or not, everybody has people we love, and people don't stick around forever in this world.
Yeah.
Sometimes we lose people in moments that we didn't expect to lose them, like you did. Never fail.
Yeah. Yep. And if anybody watches this whole podcast, I know you guys were cracking jokes about nobody ever watching it. I watched it. Fuck you guys. But if anybody does watch this whole thing, the number one thing I can say is, if you do drugs, you're an idiot. If you do drugs and drive, you're a complete worthless pile of trash to anybody, because you're putting so many other people at their lives at risk. You want to do drugs at home, you're hurting the people that care for you and everything, but you're putting yourself at risk. You get out and, you drink and drive, you do drugs and drive, whatever. You're putting so many other people at risk. Other families will be suffering because of your stupidity. And if you don't get help, if you're one of the people that say, I don't need to get help, you're an idiot. And yeah, fuck you. But yeah, that's where we're at with that, guys.
It's when you went back to that, and luckily I haven't had to go through anything to learn a lesson the hard way, hurting somebody or hurting myself or whatever. But there was a couple of years ago, I was in a stage where I drink all the time. I would, be 3 o'clock in the morning, I hop in the car, I'm good, but there was some that I knew that wasn't family or anything, but it was somebody that I knew that was actually drinking and driving. And there's 2 parts to the story. There was somebody that I knew that was drinking and driving and got into an accident, killed. Not too long after that, somebody that I knew that was just a normal Joe Blow, like you or Elijah or Keith or something like that, literally driving, over the mountain, and then someone with a alcohol, I think it was like almost, it was like 2.1. I mean, that's a blackout, you know what I mean? Dead. And it opened my eyes to think, like, you might think you're good, you might think whatever, but now you've seen 2 sides to the story. You've seen what you could do to yourself, and you could see what it could do to others. And I don't drink anymore. I don't, but that's not the reason why. But when I did stop, so stupid, say drinking and driving, but that was because I saw, personally, and it affected me. Like, one was a good buddy of mine, and he just didn't make the right choices. The one that was the drunk driver that got killed, he was one of my buddies. And I was like, man, you start to think back on all them times. It's like, when you were sober and you had conversations, you went out to maybe I could have changed his mind about some things. You know what I mean? It's just, so it made me put more of a respect on it. And now hearing your story, it adds on top of the respect level I have. And it's so altogether, I've thrown it down because one thing leads to another. And then when you're not in the right state of mind, you do things that you think's okay, it's really not. So I mean,
well, it's that mentality, like, whether you're drinking or you're doing smoking weed or doing whatever, it's that mentality, like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, it'll be all right, I'll be fine to get home.
Yeah.
And until that one thing does happen, and then you've destroyed somebody's life.
There's so many times to where I've been home and not been like, how'd I get here? You know what I mean? Like, I've got lucky so many times. And then I've even thought about walking through the day, like, I'll look on Facebook and I'll be like, was anybody post anything about a wreck last night that hopefully I didn't cause or something? Like, I'm being open, I'm being truthful about it, but
I've got friends, and like, you're a young man, you're what, 21 years old?
22. Yeah.
See, like, I think there's a lot of young guys of our generation right now that are drinking a lot, like not just drugs, but alcohol. Alcoholism like creeps up on you. Two of my best friends that I grew up with, alcoholic, to the point where I know have been drinking. If I see them, they've been drinking. They'll drink all day, and they drive all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say to them. You don't know what to tell them. They don't value their own lives. They don't, and I don't think they're thinking they're going to hurt anybody. But you never know.
Nothing's intentional. It just happens, and that's. And I didn't want to live with that if something did happen, because I couldn't live with the fact of knowing I didn't mean to do it. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to do it. I would have to live with that. Not that I'm like, I knew the risk. I really don't care. I'm like, it would tear me up more knowing that that's not me. I really didn't mean to cause any harm.
That's the thing. I don't envy the person who did that to your brother. I don't envy them at all, because for the rest of their sorry lives, they're going to have to realize that they destroyed a whole family, and they took somebody out that's probably way better than they've ever been.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, that the two guys that were in the car, my little brother, both absolute trash bags. And if they don't like what I got to say, they can come talk to me about it. Like, it's not going to be a good conversation. But
I heard that they were walking around right now. I heard they're not behind bars at this point.
Supposedly, yeah. Supposedly there's going to be criminal charges. We're not sure what it's going to be, but hopefully they get the justice that they deserve.
You would hope manslaughter,
at least,
at least.
I mean, hopefully they get what but
anybody,
like, you hear that they're not suffering anymore. They're not in jail. Like, I'm sure you've had thoughts, but like, that's not good for you. We both know that.
I mean, of course, I'm a grown man, and I fight. That's what I do. My entire life is based around being a good dad, being a good fighter, and being a good boyfriend, eventually wife to Heidi. But no. But everybody would have those. Anybody who's angry and lost somebody close to them because of someone's stupidity and negligence. Yeah, look, there she is. Look at her. But
she's always watching.
She's everywhere.
She's always watching.
Always. But you have those thoughts, but at the same time, you gotta, that's the difference in my decision making versus these idiots' decision making. They don't think what's important. They don't think what ahead. Being here and taking care of my son is the most important thing. Being here with Heidi and taking care of her and working together to build a good life. That's more important than these trash bags
that don't value their life.
My question, really, that it's hard to ask. It's a weird question, but
yes, I do wax my face.
Okay, secondary question: do you ever see yourself, finding it in your heart to forgive these people that did this horrible thing?
Absolutely not.
I can see why not, but like, not for them, but for you. Like, I know carrying around anger is not good. I know carrying around hate for them can't be good for you.
It just I run on caffeine and hatred anyway. So,
you seem to have a mean streak when we were training. Like I say, you bullied me.
No, come on, get out of here. But
I mean,
do you remember Tommy? Have you seen Tommy
Jason
Boy?
Miller. Call Jason Miller on him.
I think it'd come a time,
in Tommy Boy, when he's like, my face is sore, like right here, not here and not here, but right here.
I think it'd come a time, Densel, and like I said, never been through anything like that. But if you do even have the thought of forgiving, that it would have to be for you, because forgiving them when they don't even care. I mean, that's out of the question. I think it would come to the point to where you say you have to forgive for you so you can better yourself. And I know it's early in the stage right now, and we don't know what that feels like. But anybody can change. Anybody can change talking about them people, but they got to want it for themselves. And if that's something that they don't want, then don't waste your energy on them. It's.
That's the thing. That's not something I want. No, they'll never. Anytime I see them, it's just going to be on site. Like, hey, you a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm with you, if you're one of my friends, like, you'll know. Like, if I fuck with you, you'll know I'll fuck with you. But if I don't, like, you'll know right off the bat, hey, you a bitch. That's how I've always been to these people. You can't wrong anybody much more than killing their little brother. So no chance of forgiveness. Anytime I see them, their family, I don't care. They're gonna know, hey, your kid is a bitch. Like,
murderer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
like, absolutely.
I think Elijah talked about mental health the last time. And it's hard to cope with something like this, but and dwell on it. And like I said, I'm not saying not. I'm saying to beat yourself up if it starts to affect you in a negative way,
Well,
like,
you talked about feeling like giving up, and I think that's natural. But like, I'm sure you realize too that your brother wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you realize.
Elijah says it better than what I do, but
I don't give up. So that's why I'm not going to give up on hating these idiots.
Yeah.
Well,
Sean,
my little brother,
I can see it.
Would laugh
I
at
can
me
see it. I wouldn't let it affect your life because it's not worth it. Like, I mean, of course it's going to. They fucking affected your life in the biggest way that I could think of. But like, as far as carrying it around every day, be careful.
That's what I meant by saying forgiving yourself.
No.
Like drinking
that's
poison,
what I meant.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I don't like the media when anytime I hate to bring up other horrible things. Anytime there's a shooting or anything, they hardly ever talk about the victims. They always talk about the shooter. You know what I mean? That's not how I think about things. I think about my little brother who was a victim. I think about my mom who was a victim. The only time I think about the people, the murderers, is when it gets brought up. Then I'm like, oh yeah, they're bitches. I don't care. I don't care that shit. When it pops up, I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah, fuck those guys. And that's how it's always going to be.
Well, I think you realize they're going to get what's coming to them. That's how life works. I mean, it
goes around, comes back around. It is what you put into it. And if you plant bad seeds, you get bad plants. It's just how it works. I mean,
can't play in the mud and expect not to get dirty.
It just is what it is.
And so what do you do to move forward to keep your brother's legacy alive, to keep his memory alive? Because like you said, that's what's important.
Yeah,
they're not important. They're secondary. Keeping him alive, keeping his memory going, that matters a lot more.
Yeah, like on my fight shirts I'm getting made, on the back it's gonna have my gym, Ground Zero's logo there, and it's gonna have a couple sponsors and stuff like that. And then on the bottom, we're gonna have going across underneath it all. It's just gonna say like in memory of Sean Chapman, blah blah blah.
And
birthday.
Sean was a dad too, right? I know his little girl was in the vehicle. How's she been doing?
Oh, she's been doing good. She's been healing really well, man. I haven't seen her since my little brother's funeral, but she's been making good progress and stuff. So that's good.
And your mama healing up all right?
Yeah, she's healing pretty good. She actually asked me if she can keep my son for a couple extra days. And this is the first time my son's been away from me for more than a couple days since he's been born. And he's going to be down there for a week. So
it's a weird feeling.
Oh yeah, but I know it's going to benefit her a lot to spend more time with him, especially after the loss that she just suffered. But
so what's it like being a dad? That's my next question for you.
Oh man, you ever
emotions that you can't put into words?
You ever
accidentally fell into a fire. No, I'm joking. Dude, it's the best thing in the world. You know, there's times he'll do something real goofy and it pisses me off. And, you know, I'm starting to, my dad voice comes out and he'll say something like real goofy to me and just make me laugh. You know what I mean? Or if I jump onto him, the old dad voice comes out and stuff, you know, and I see, you know, he gets a little like, oh God, you know, he knows he's in trouble. He gets, you know, a little scared and stuff. And then he does this little walk, man, where he'll go to his room when he knows he's in trouble. He'll go and like put his head down and he'll walk all the way to his door. And then like he'll be facing away from you and he'll just look back and go. It like, gets me every time. Heidi tells me all the time, she's like, you are the weaker parent here. And I'm just like, you know, woman, you can kiss my whole ass. I feel bad. You know what I mean?
That would be me. I couldn't do it.
Dude,
I'd get manipulated too easy.
Oh man, he's so smart. He's so and he knows how to use it, dude. Like when we're down at my mom's house, I'll jump onto him or something and he'll run straight to my mom because he knows mama tells me what to do. And I'm just like, man, kiss my whole ass, kid. But
you're gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah, he's such a good kid. I'm honestly blessed to have him. He if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to focus through all the bad stuff going on. Him and Heidi really keep me, you know, blinders on so nothing outside bothers me and I'm focused on going forward and moving forward. He just he means the world to me, man. He looks just like me. He acts a lot like me. Hopefully he's
I know you posted on Facebook about having to clean up poop or something.
Dude.
Poop was so he acts so you do that from time to time, right? Yeah.
Oh, bro, when you get some bad chalky milk, bro. When when you're in quarantine from COVID, and you can't go get new milk, and your milk expired 2 days ago, and it's got a couple little chunky chunks in it.
What are you gonna do?
You got to make some chunky chocolate milk, and you got to just think, you got to just imagine that's just like the marshmallows and hot chocolate.
Oh,
but no, dude, that kid he pooped all over his room and then drove his his little trucks through it that one day. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, he had the right vehicle for the job. Every vehicle he was driving through his butt mud was a lifted truck.
He's driving through the mud.
It's like,
dude, his little Corvette, his little motorcycles didn't go through the mud, but the SUVs and the lifted trucks did.
You go in there and you're like, I think there's something wrong with my kid.
God.
And then as you're cleaning up, you're like, I think my kid might be a genius.
Like my head almost exploded, dude. I was like, I literally like, all right, I'm gonna give y'all the dad voice. You know what I mean? I literally went there and I looked and I went, boy, what is this? You know what I mean? He's like, Dad. He's like, Daddy, I'm sorry, I poopy. And I'm like, no, really? Weird. Didn't notice it. You know? And I literally come upstairs when he, you know, to where he can't hear me. And I looked at Heidi and I was like, there is shit everywhere. So luckily, you know, Heidi was nice enough to help me clean it. You know, we had to bath him up right there. And he got a bath, if I'm not mistaken, literally like 2 hours before it. And if it wasn't that morning, like a couple hours, because he did this like early morning. And if it wasn't like 2 hours before that, like it was the night before, right before we put him to bed. I can't remember, but he had just gotten a bath, dude. So it was like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, that's great.
He just wanted another bath. That's all it was.
Dude, yeah. I told her, I was like, yo, it's time to just throw the whole baby away. Like, game over. But
were you ready to just burn the room?
Yeah, dude, he's doing pretty good with potty training, though. He, like I said, he's with my mom. He called me earlier for him to tell me, Daddy, I peed like a man. So he peed standing up. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, dude. Proud of you. You know, later on in life, you'll get kind of bored of doing that. You'll just start sitting down again, but whatever. Like,
yeah, once you start getting tired and sore, you're just like, I'd just rather sit down anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Keith's been sitting down to pee since his 20s.
His wife makes him do it.
You know how hard it is to pee and actually like clear your balls. So, you know, when you get old.
I feel like Keith, when he pees, like one stream goes this way and it goes that way, and he's always getting it all over the commode, and his wife's always yelling, Keith, you pissed on the toilet again.
Yeah. You know, I saw this thing the other day, and it was like, women always complain that you leave the toilet seat up.
But when was the last time that they lifted the toilet seat for you?
Exactly.
You know?
Ooh.
Making us do all the hard work.
Yeah.
So now I want to hear some dad stories from you, Keith. I want to get an inside look into the life of the Dana White of West Virginia.
Yeah, why'd you really lose all that hair? We gotta know.
I don't know, man. It started falling out like right out of high school. Started
Have
coming
you
out,
seen-
man.
Have you seen his kid's hair? He passed it on to him. That boy. That
got a
boy
Was your
mop.
hair
beautiful
curly
set
like
of
that?
hair.
Yeah, it was curly. I never really let it grow out, except I let it grow out one time. I think
Does Gavin ever express his concern that his hair is all going to fall out soon?
no, he knows that that Rebecca's dad has like the perfect hairline. So he's expecting to get my hair color, but that hairline, So he should be good.
You say
So
expecting. I bet he's praying.
Yeah, he's probably praying. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize transparent was a hair color.
Transparent.
Got some it's just silver, man. Well, you got silver.
Oh, you a silver
It's
fox?
gonna be white. Yeah, it's gonna be white. I'm just gonna have like the white horseshoe here soon.
I gave my dad a haircut on Christmas Day because we was going to my aunt's house for dinner and there's no barbers open. He's like, dude, I gotta get a haircut. And I got this idea. I was like, dude, I know how to cut hair. Never cut hair in my life. But I was like, I know how to cut hair. And he's like, all right. We go in the bathroom. I get my little clippers and stuff, and I have this big guard. No, I have a little guard first, and because you get your hair cut and you feel how it goes. So you're like, okay, I know how it goes. I get him up to about up in here, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this bigger guard and I'm gonna fade it out. Dude, the bigger guard ate just as much hair as what the little guard did. So I scalped my father all the way up to here. And then I started taking scissors and I'm cutting. And my mom walks in and he's thinking everything's cool. He's like, man, you almost done, my back's hurting. Mom walks in and goes, oh my God, Chad,
Buzz it off.
what did you do? And he's like, what? And he steps up and looks in the mirror. He goes, oh my God, I can't
What
go
the
to the
hell?
dinner. I can't go to the dinner looking like this. I was like, it's okay. We'll just
Put on a
shave it.
hat.
We'll just shave it. We'll do the military cut. And he didn't come to the dinner. He didn't. I ruined his dinner. He didn't come to the dinner.
He didn't come to the
Wow.
He
dinner.
didn't come to the dinner.
More for you.
Wow.
I gave it,
Elijah,
dude.
next week, you know what's going to be? Here in February, we're going to hear Austin. I mastered photography. I mastered filmography. I
And
mastered boxing. Now I got my eyes on barbers.
Barbers
hair,
go!
son.
No,
Barbers
listen, I
go.
already had a
Master
test run at that.
I'm going to give my dad the perfect haircut.
I'm not a barber. I learned that. I scratched it. I know I always say I can do anything I put my mind to, except for cutting
Except
hair.
for,
Sorry. It just
Barbary.
didn't work. I even downloaded a little game on my phone, like a little barber game, and I messed up that. I couldn't do it. I was using the different little guards and I was scalping that. I can't even do it on a video game. So I've just scratched the idea of me being a barber. If anybody
I
needs a
noticed
haircut, don't
before we
look at me.
started this interview when we were talking before we started recording that Denzel saw when I showed up, Denzel saw my hair and he's like, I better put a hat on.
Yeah, saw that.
He saw
Jack
how
Dempsey
pretty I
cut.
looked. He saw how pretty my hair looked.
Yeah.
You might have the pretty hair, but
Elijah's
I'm
got
always dressing
the Jack
pretty.
Dempsey cut.
Yeah, I did. I literally every time I go to my barber, I just show her a picture of Jack Dempsey, his haircut.
The 29th is going to be weird because I'm the first fight of the night, so I'm gonna have all like my little fight gear and stuff, and
I'm
literally
leaving
like
after your fight.
a fight after.
Yeah,
I'm
leaving
gonna be in a
right after
suit.
your fight. I'm leaving.
I really feel like Austin's going to come out to Luke Bryan or something.
I feel like that definitely seems like it's up his alley.
Like, he's going to get out there and you're going to he's going to start walking out and you're going to hear, I got that real good, feel good stuff. Like,
Listen, if I only plan to do this one time in my life, I gotta go out for bang. I gotta do something better than Luke Bryan. I like CJ's mixtape. You know,
There
it's
you go.
my guy ain't giving me enough attention, so I'm having to like pick on other people. So I might come out with one of CJ's songs. I don't know.
Keith told me that your guy is actually pretty cool, and that we
He
might
is.
replace you with him.
Yep.
We should
He's
play
pretty cool.
along. Do something.
What
Good
if we
God.
did? What if he beat you and then we replaced you with him? Like, all these-
I'd burn the whole.
You got our new
hotel down.
commentator.
I'd burn the whole place down.
Hey.
You wouldn't finish that event.
He wouldn't even be a commentator.
I'll tell you this:
He'd
if
just be a
CJ
table.
beats me, he can have my job. Like, he can have it.
Do we have microphones that have auto tune in them?
Oh,
I
no,
wish.
that's-
We can
there we go.
arrange
We need to
that.
do a whole podcast like that.
You know, I used to have on my computer. I deleted it. It was a voice mod thing, and if I would have kept it, I could have been able to do it on here. Has some real cracked out T-Pain podcast. Oh my God, that's it.
So, what do you think about the modern state of the UFC? What's going on lately in the UFC, Denzel? I know you're a fan.
Conor
Unlike
McGregor's going to
Keith.
make the comeback of a
Yeah,
lifetime.
dude, he's
going to
obsessed
shock the
with
world.
Conor. You need to set him straight.
He's going to shock the
Denzel.
world.
What's
shock the world.
UFC? UF who?
Yeah, it's Oh yeah,
It's basically Conor McGregor's company, considering that his pay-per-views has more pay-per-view sales than the entire UFC has.
Is he really
without
coming
him on the
back?
card. Yeah, he's still got 2 fights on his contract.
He's walking around at like 190 right now.
I
Have you
know.
seen him?
He's
And
a
he looks
brute.
like he's on HGH.
I don't care
Yeah.
if he's on HIV, buddy. Man's a beast.
He has the same HGH dealer as Justin Ball.
I think that honestly in the UFC, I think Islam and
He's a dog.
Khamzat are the best 2 fighters in the UFC right now.
Dude, Chimaev is crazy.
Yeah.
That last fight, you know, people don't know Li Jing. Like, I don't know how to say his name. Li Jinglang is what I always call him. He's one of my favorites to watch in that division. I've made money betting on him. So I thought it was going to be a tougher fight than it was. And Chimaev just clowned him, like
Yeah.
absolutely clowned him. Picked him up, carried him across the cage. I don't know if you saw this, Keith, because you never watched. This guy, this Russian cat, picked up this guy as he was carrying him across the cage. He
Screaming at
went
Dana.
over to Dana and like started talking to Dana before he slammed him.
Saying, give me a shot. Give me a shot.
I've never heard
As
of
he's
him.
carrying the dude. These Russian guys are built different.
They're bad.
He's a
Those are
Russian.
bad dudes. yeah.
He's trains out of Sweden with Gustafsson and those guys.
Now, Islam
He's so good, man.
he reminds me of a more modern, faster Khabib. Khabib was always a boring fighter to watch. My personal opinion, just because he wrestled a lot. He
Khabib
didn't.
is one of my
love
favorite
his fighting
fighters.
style. Mine too.
He-
Mine
but
too.
he's
I
just
like
boring.
Khabib because he would bust you in the mouth, like right there. He didn't care.
He was just boring. It was always ground stuff. Islam has a mix of everything, but he's just as good on the ground.
Yeah, I don't understand people that find Khabib boring. I think the more you understand grappling, the more you're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
he's doing stuff nobody's done before.
I know
yeah,
he's
the
great,
way he
but it's
hounds
just
people's legs and just takes their legs out of the equation is
That low
insane.
mount. He
Yeah.
goes onto that low mount. I've been using that more. I know my buddy Ken Beverly, I've told you about him. He uses that all the time now.
Yeah, I use
That
that a
low
lot in
mount
MMA
changed
sparring.
the game.
I just hate when I watch a fight and it goes all 5 rounds and it was nothing but a dude leaning up against the fence on the ground. Even though I mean it's very technical and it's very skilled, I just like to
You're-
see.
Well,
You're
it's not fair to
borderline
say that
sounding
though,
like-
because Khabib was finishing everybody.
I
You know
know.
what
Borderline-
you know what I'd do if
Austin-
Khabib took me down? I'd just
Stand up.
stand back up and punch him in the face.
I tell you, Austin is borderline sounding like he wears American Fighter t-shirts, the Buffalo Wild.
Yeah, he sounded like a casual, man.
Yeah.
Sounded a little bit like a
You
casual.
don't mess with somebody with American Fighter gear on and Buffalo Wild Wings, buddy.
Dude, me and Heidi always crack
My
jokes.
people.
We'll see like people wearing American Fighter stuff, and I'll look at her and I'm like, "Yo, I wonder where they train." And she'll be like, "Would you shut up?" Like, we always
We'll
crack
mess with
jokes.
them.
Or tap out or affliction.
Yeah,
those are the
Affliction.
best
My
guys.
coach Travis he wears a shirt that every one of our fights, and it's like the tap out, like big, small, big, that lettering that tap out used, but it says poser on it. And it was making fun of people that always wore the tap out stuff
tap
who
out
didn't
stuff.
train. And I want one of those shirts so bad.
My favorite people are the white belts who wear like all jujitsu stuff. Like the people who just started, but they wear like all jujitsu t-shirts and like they go get jujitsu tattoos. I feel like there should be a rule that you can't get a jujitsu tattoo unless you're like at least a blue belt or purple belt.
Tell that to the tattoo artist that's struggling to get by.
Yeah. I'll tattoo
We're in.
anything you want.
Yeah.
Holy shit, boys!
Yeah,
It's almost
it's-
1 a.m. I got to get up at 5.
We
Shoot.
did this last time too. We started at like 10 and we was like, it's 1 in the morning.
It's your fault, Austin.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
late
we
as
were
shit,
supposed to
kid.
start at like 8:30.
Yeah. This is Austin's fault. Out
I
taking
can't help
video. He's out videoing high school basketball
I'm
players.
sure that people are probably tired of listening to us by now.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know.
He's
Yeah.
probably like, there's nobody.
Now
listening
that
to
one dude on Facebook's like watched through it, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Denzel, I got one thing before you go. So
What's up?
throughout your career, you fought a lot, but they've all been like what, 1 or 2 fights a year. It kind of seems like you've been fighting for a while, but now here you are. You got 2 fights 6 weeks apart. What's this like? And then you're probably going to be on anything else we have throughout the year. What's that like? Change it up, being a lot more active.
Honestly, I've always wanted to be more active and stuff. It's just hard scheduling everything. And I mean that one year, what was it, 2019, or it might have been 2020. I don't remember, one of those years. We tried to get a fight scheduled for me, and what we have like 10 opponents back out or something crazy at one point.
Yeah, was that the first event? You fought on
think
2. You fought on 2.
It was either
3.
I don't remember if it was the one where I fought Skylar or when I fought Keeker, but one of those two. We had it was like 9 or 10 opponents back out.
Yeah.
And that's been a pretty consistent problem with me. I was going to fight for a couple other promotions here and there. One time I had to pull out because I fractured my wrist in training, just a couple weeks before the fight or whatever. But I still wanted to fight, but my coaches were like, "No, dude, don't be stupid." But whatever. But no, it's just always been a scheduling thing. I've always wanted to fight more. Now I'm fighting these 2 cards, and then if I can fight in April, then I'm gonna fight in April. If I can fight in May, I'm gonna fight in May. Like, I'm gonna fight as many times as I can, and just really just beat the ass off people for a while.
I'll tell you what, if you make it up to 265, I'll fight you.
Head kick.
If you get to 266, I'll
That's
fight
the
you.
thing.
'Cause
It's a different game when you get that fight. You'll see it.
But I'm
won't
just
be
gonna
dancing
weigh. I'm
so
just gonna
much.
weigh in with gallons of chalky milk.
I know. We can have a toast at weigh-ins. We won't have to worry about cutting.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm happy about for this fight. I kind of have to cut weight.
I ain't got
I
cut
hate-
weight either, man.
I hate cutting weight. I have to do it.
I got to
But
gain
it's not
weight.
going to be. My last weight cut was horrible. I cut from like 192. But that was like, after quarantine, not like quarantine, but the pandemic, and everybody had to, everybody had to stay in their house. All the gyms were closed down and shit. Heidi, kept me with good work for a good while.
So you guys didn't train in secret, like underground somewhere?
We did a couple times. I'm not going to lie to you, but there was a long time, and Heidi was at her last job, dude. She worked like 100 hours a week. And
What did she do? Was she the president?
No, God, no. She would do a lot better for the country. No, she was agency director at an insurance company. She was really rocking at it, but the way that the company was going just didn't fit with her morals and her thoughts, how she wanted to conduct business, so she quit. But yeah, I mean, but that last fight, dude, that last weight cut, the one in August, actually was the first time in my career I missed weight. I think I missed I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds or something, which is a good bit. There's no excuse.
You ought to
for
be
it,
ashamed of yourself.
I was a son of a
That
bitch.
that was Heidi's cooking, man. That's all it was.
Dude.
Heidi was cooking. Yeah.
No, brother, that's my cooking. That girl, when she makes eggs, she had to teach me how to fry eggs without oil. That blew my mind. But you can do it, and I'm pretty good at it now. But no, she's always cooking super healthy. I'm not. I'm like, yo, let's make some ribs, but let's cover them in lard.
Where's the butter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Hey.
But I started that weight cut from like I think I was 193.
Yeah.
And I cut to 155, and I think it was only 5 weeks or something that I knew.
Yeah. You were down there for an hour running in a sauna suit running around that cage and then just like struggling, man. Then you step on that scale and you were still over.
Yeah, like and this weight, I'm not gonna miss weight this time. My weight is I've taken better care of myself. I didn't, the gyms weren't fucking shut down for a year.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see, fat boy.
Hey, whoa, hey, ain't that the big old pot calling the kettle black? Hey, listen, I threw a teep the other day. This is a true story. I don't know if you remember this, Elijah. I threw a teep and I teeped Elijah in the stomach and he literally went, oh. You did. I'm not even playing. I remember stopping and looking at you like you went, oh. And I was like, sir.
Can we go back to talking about how tough I am?
But no, my weight right now, dude. We've still got 5 weeks roughly before the fight, and my weight's 10 at this time. Before the last fight, I was 20 pounds heavier than I am right now. Like I'm good now. This is gonna be easy.
As the public who's listening to this, you want to know what sparring with Densel Chapman's like? The next day, I was laying in bed that night, and I was like, I need surgery. I think I need surgery.
Oh, man, you got to push that one now.
My wife was like, why am I doing this? I could be home playing Call of Duty. Like, why am I doing it? I don't get it.
You gotta post that clip now. What sparring with Densel Chapman like?
What sparring with Densel Chapman like? You smell really weird odors. You don't quite know where you're at because of it. You're disoriented.
And he flips around in circles like a ballerina.
I remember there was one moment where I swung like a big hook and you were just gone. You were like behind me. I was like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, I think I laughed and I was like,
where'd he go?
Instead of like being a good friend when you guys was going hard and being like, hey guys, hey, tone it down. Somebody's gonna get hurt. I told Stumpy, I said, I'm gonna grab the camera. This is good. I'm gonna record this because if somebody gets knocked out, we're gonna get it on camera.
Yeah, but you never grabbed the camera.
I know, because I was in such awe. I kept because so much stuff was happening. I was missing everything. And that head kick gets thrown, and I'm like, and
you know how
I
would love to have those head kicks on video.
That was a good.
You have any idea how proud I was that I actually threw a head kick at you? Though I was really proud.
Listen, if I wouldn't have leaned over into the trajectory of the kick, you would have gotten to my head. But I saw how far you loaded your hip, and I was like, this son of a bitch is trying to kill me right now.
It wasn't that. It was the fact I was like, if I don't really put my ass into this, it's not reaching his head.
Like
I thought maybe it might make you think about trying to kick me in the head. I thought maybe he'll stop if I show him I can do it too.
See, I thought to myself, I said, Self, the way he's loading that hip up, if he throws this and it hits you in the head, he's going to knock your teeth over, and it's going to look like you got the London look instead of the hillbilly look. And I didn't. I do believe
that if it would have hit you, it would have been really bad.
It would have hurt. That's why I didn't.
It would have been bad. I didn't think for a million you landed it though. I didn't think I could have reached your head. I thought it was going to go to the body.
Well, I saw that thing up from East Jesus, Montana.
Like, nah, son, we're not doing that.
Poor thing.
That was such a fun round.
Now I have
even though it almost took me out of commission.
Before I forget, am I walking out first or am I walking out second?
You're coming out second. You're in the red corner.
Yes.
Hey, real quick,
actually, all four of us are in the red corner.
Hell yeah. Dude, I gotta be honest. The background that Austin's got going on looks like homeboy's hugging him right now.
Yeah. It looks like he's so doing big.
They're spooning.
It looks like he's crept up right behind him.
I'm telling you.
I'm giving him the business.
Listen,
look at him bouncing now. Why are you bouncing like that, weirdo? As soon as we start saying that.
Oh God. You're giving that man a lot of credit.
Austin really loves Matt Workman. Like really loves him.
These people over here don't love him. Look, they're all looking behind him.
Well, he's punching Heidi in the nose.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah, no wonder
Heidi, you took everything I worked for, mother effer. I want you. I want to fight you. Or Scott Coker. I'll fight Scott Coker too. Dana White.
I used to be friends with Scott Coker on Facebook, so I could try to message him for you.
Yeah, man. I'll fight Scott Coker.
Oh,
Hey Keith,
Lord.
hey Keith,
Gojira.
put your background back up real quick.
We're going off the rails, boys. You can't see her because of your background.
Am I like a sponsor or something
Oh.
now? Wow.
You've been on-
Keith, no.
Hold on, I'll get mine.
Wow. Set it up. Set it up.
That's right. You took everything I worked for, Heidi. I want to fight you.
Let's go.
All
Keith.
right, boys. I got to get up at 5 in the morning to go.
All
to
right,
work.
guys. Yep, it is 1 a.m. I got to get up. I don't have to get up as early as you, but yep. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. It's been fun.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Anytime you guys want to do it, just let me know. I'll hop on and talk some trash.
All
New
right.
Line Championship Boxing Podcast. We've been here with Densel Chapman. It's been
Yep.
fun.
Yeah, we never even mentioned his opponent's name tonight. But
Jacob Stanton. Let's talk about that for like 5 seconds.
All right, let's
Jacob
do
Stanton's
5 seconds.
tough.
he's a
You
tough
know, I've
guy.
seen Jacob fight. I saw Jacob's last fight. I was there in Parkersburg.
Yeah, you were there in person.
I actually really was pushing for this fight because I think it's one of the best of the night.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are going to go to war. Jacob's legit. He's good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what I
He
want.
likes
You know,
the spinning
I
back
told
fist,
Keith,
man. He landed like 3 of them in one fight. It was crazy. I guess you saw the fight. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've done your homework.
Yeah, we always get, we get any kind of footage we can on the opponents we have. But yeah, I've been wanting to take harder. I don't want to cause any disrespect to any of my past opponents, but I want to take the hardest fights I can. I told Keith, in March, I said, "Hey, man, this guy's #1 in the state. Looks like a bad dude. I want to fight this Eckerd kid. I was #1 in the state for the longest time, and now he is, and I want to fight him."
Now, I've got a question there. I kind of thought you'd be fighting Devin Stanley in March. What happened with that?
Well, so Devin called me out in a way that I felt was very disrespectful. He's a nice kid. I don't think you mean disrespect by it, but you don't mean to punch somebody, but you still fucking punched them. You know what I mean? And that's kind of thing. It's a disrespectful way to call me out. It was right after my little brother passed. We talked about that earlier. He was like, me and Heidi were standing in the crowd. I'd cornered a couple of our guys, and he was like, hey, he had just won his fight. And he was like, I just wanted to give, he grabbed the microphone and said, I just want to give condolences to Denzel's family, blah, blah. And Heidi was over my back and was like, oh, he's been really nice. I was like, fuck yeah, that's cool. He's a nice guy. And then he was like, I don't remember exactly the way he said it, but he basically said, you have the belt and I want it, so we need to fight. And I was like, oh, fuck you. Like, like I said, he's a nice kid.
When that was happening, I think the thing was he planned on doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what was told to me.
The stuff happening with your brother, like, threw a wrench in the works. I think he didn't know whether to do it or not. That's why he threw that in about, about your brother.
Probably
But
a good
the whole
idea
time,
to just not do it. But
the whole time, I was like, oh my
Yeah, we
God.
was sitting at the commentary booth. We was like,
no,
he couldn't have
don't
just
do it.
messaged him on Facebook.
yeah,
He's,
He's at the right time.
yeah,
I
and
bet
Devin-
he probably regrets it. I bet Devin didn't mean anything by it, but
No.
I know what you mean. Like,
yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Like I said, he's a nice guy. I don't think he meant anything disrespectful by it. But regardless if you mean something or not, if you disrespect somebody, you still did it. I've always been under the impression when you call somebody out, you fight them. You want to fight them next. Kind of been my impression. But apparently that wasn't the way he was thinking. Which whatever. I'm moving forward with a harder fight against Kyle Eckerd. I'm more excited about that fight anyway. I think Devin would have been a ticket seller because it's in Williamson and we're both from that area. But whatever. I get to fight number one guy in the state. The guy that took my place is number one in the state. So yeah, I'm much more excited about this fight.
So do you feel like you'll run into Devin down the road, or do you think, he had his chance?
Yeah, he had his chance and then said he couldn't commit to fighting me or something.
Yeah, Devin's battling some injuries right now and kind of wants to wait to see how that's doing after the January fight and before he commits to anything further. So,
but does Devin have a fight in January?
Yeah, he's fighting for the 165 kickboxing title. So,
yeah, I don't know. If I had an injury, I probably wouldn't call somebody out and say, "Hey, I'm going to fight you." If I was battling an injury, but that's just my personal thing. I'm different than some people, I guess, but anyway, no, I won't fight him now. He called me out in a way I felt was very disrespectful. And then after calling me out to say he can't commit to fighting me, even though, you called me out in front of, I don't know how many people were in that last card. It was a pretty good card, pretty good crowd. He called me out in front of everybody. And then he, says that he doesn't want to fight me or he can't commit to fighting me or whatever. Nah, it don't jive well with me. So, yeah.
Well, man, I called you out at 265, but I'm telling you, if you make it to 265, I'll probably be like, I don't think I want to do it anymore.
If I make it to 265, buddy, you need to check what I'm carrying in my pockets.
I was going to say, I think your fight career is just
you
retired. If you get up to 165,
guess what, buddy?
man.
Guess what, pal? I weighed less than you probably do right now 3 years ago. It'll creep up on you.
But no, I'm.
What do you walk around at right now?
Huh?
What do you walk around at right now?
I'm like 175.
Oh yeah, I was lighter than you are 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Does that not blow your mind? You know what did it? Chocolate milk.
Dude, hey.
I really like chocolate milk.
Yeah.
See, this is.
See, if I would have found that stuff, I'd probably be thinner than you are.
No, bud, I'm telling you what, I just snorted.
Yeah.
Like I do a
Just
pre-workout.
do a few lines of it before you practice. Like that's your pre-workout.
I snort C4, you snort Nesquik.
Yeah.
My drug of choice has been Mountain Dew, so I'm trying to cut that out.
Hey, Austin,
yeah,
we see who had the upper hand in sparring the other day, brother. Maybe you should change your snorting habits.
I know. I think I need to go to something else.
That was shitty, Densel. That was a shitty statement.
Hey, you want to know something real? You want to know something real
classes.
quick about that day? I was on the way, there, and usually I like take it
Austin, we're gonna have to fight Densel now. You
I
got to
know.
call him out. He just made you a bitch.
Usually,
I can make 135 if I cut one of my legs off.
I might be able to make 160
It's
or
either
170
fight me at
put a few bricks
265
in
or
my pocket.
cut down and fight him at 125.
I was in Chapmanville. That's when I usually
Pick your
take
poison,
it,
Denzel.
so it kicks in, and I don't know what it was. I had this much of water, my big old water bottle, and I did 3 scoops. I was just like, I drink a lot of caffeine, and I know it's a lot of caffeine, so I'm probably immune to 1 scoop. By the time I was driving through Hearts, man, my face felt like needles was going like.
I was wondering why when you came in, you sounded like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
I told Stumpy, I said, dude,
Hey,
we got to
what's
keep
the
the
deal
door
with
open,
you,
man. It's hot in here.
You know what Denzel did? Denzel pulled a classic training trick. He showed up like an hour late so that we were all real tired. He's like, yeah, that's how you do it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when I got there, they all took a 15-minute rest, and then we started sparring.
Like, yeah, Denzel, go run some
I told him
sprints
before, my gym probably has the best cardio in West Virginia, don't we?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest, yo.
You've got a bunch of marathon runners and stuff.
No, I can't remember his name. The big dude in the blue shirt that was there. Super nice guy.
Mark Horns.
Mark.
Yeah, dude, man, I was really impressed with him. That dude, anytime like he was in there with me, he never stopped moving.
Oh,
and you
dude,
know me.
Mark's a killer, man. For
Yeah,
a guy his size, like he shocks you.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm always cutting angles and trying to get out of the way and, hit you when I want to hit you and engage with you when I want to. You know what I mean? But that big dude like never stopped. Every time I'd turn around, I was like, fuck, Shrek's right here again. Like, my man was an animal. Like, that dude.
Well, you just gave Mark Horns his first nickname, Shrek.
Shrek.
Oh my
I got to
God.
ask Denzel a quick question after we stop the recording because it's appropriate for after the recording.
All right.
So if you
Then
wanna,
just wait.
I don't want everybody
Denzel-
leaving.
He's a swinger, just so you know. Just that's the kind of question that you got coming.
No, me
You and
and
Heidi.
Heidi are too jealous for that kind of stuff, bud.
Ah.
He's gonna ask you to subscribe to his OnlyFans.
So Keith, I got a question for you.
He's either asking you to swing or he's inviting you to church on Sundays. It's one of the two.
You're going to get a no for both of those, brother.
All right. Well,
This has
yeah,
been
guess-
it's been a fun one.
it's been fun, but Denzel's got to get up and go to work in 4 hours. So
This one was a circus.
Yeah. Guys, the whole promotion's getting shut down after this one.
Yeah, we're definitely getting canceled.
I done
Oh,
said
yeah.
I'll have people burning auto zones down before we even have this event. So it's what it is.
All right, boys. Y'all
All
have a good one.
Heidi and I want to
Yep.
thank everybody for being on. All right.
New Line Championship Boxing Podcast, episode
Yep.
2.
Come
It's
out,
been
watch
fun.
all 4 of us fight January 29th, Huntington, West Virginia, Doubletree Hotel. Tickets are probably going to sell out quick. There's only going to be 500 seats, so you better get them while you can. Peace.